Good Easter morning. Welcome to Savage Lanes in Savannah, Missouri. I am Ryan Ragland, and we'll be broadcasting the 2026 USBC St. Joe Masters, and 6 games of qualifying for 2 squads. This is Squad A, and we will have both sides. As you can see, we have the last 4 lanes here, and do a little switch over, and we have the front 4 over there. So we have cameras on both sides, so we'll be flipping back and forth. We'll have updates for you on standings after each game, so what they're to be doing. 6 games of qualifying for A and B squad. B squad, I believe, starts at 1:30. I believe I'll have to get a confirmation on that. And then they will cut to the top 8. There will be a 8-game match game round robin, and then cut the top 5, and we'll have the stepladder finals, and we will have all the coverage here. And a huge thanks to Dan Schmerball for allowing us to use the Northwest Missouri Senior Bowlers Tour Facebook page, or not Facebook, but a YouTube page to be able to broadcast this. Huge thanks to him. Also to Victory Chevrolet and Ryan Farms, plus Joy Finley with Finley Transport and Lisa Finley with Shelter Insurance. And I can also say she is my agent. And I kind of made a little side joke to her yesterday when I saw the storms coming in. I said, well, if that hail comes in and hits, at least I know my agent's right down the street. So I wasn't too worried about it. So stick around. We're going to have the match play, or the qualifying coming up. This is A squad, and we'll get, in fact, you know what? I'm going to get Joey over here. He's not bowling this squad yet, so I'll get him over here real quick, and he can kind of give us the lowdown. Also, I think the PBA Tour is on today, and I don't think the scores here will be as high as the scores were in Columbus. That was astronomically crazy. In fact, Joey's still running around. Some of the past champions, in fact, I'll take a look at that real quick. Joey sent me a list of those. The past champions on this squad. Defending champion Andy Weiss. Last year, 3-time champion Jesse Campbell. Brad Lingle. Dave Campbell, excuse me. And TJ, I messed up his name last year. I'm going to get it right. Peppergritis? It's close. So those are the 5 past champions that we have on this squad. And the past champions we'll have on the B squad will be Brandon Leibel, Trevor Peppergritis. I'm going to have to get a pronunciation right out for that. Dave Goodale and Joy Finley. Some of the averages, the top averages that qualified for this, I believe the top 5 was Dakota Kessler at 236, Brian Manini at 235, Trey Myers at 231, Jeremy Snipes at 225, and Brad Lingle at 223. So that's your top 5 qualifying averages. Also, some of the notables: Aaron Larson at 228, Brandon Leibel 228. Kind of looking down the sheet. 25 is Ron Hankins. So pretty stout averages, pretty stout bowlers bowling in this. In fact, there's my saving grace.
This is the squad minus in. Do you need them on lanes?
No, I should be able. They got most of them. I'm not gonna have it up there, but I'll get it figured out.
If you change your mind, let me know.
And you're getting on here later on too.
No.
You
Joey.
already are.
Joey is.
You already are.
Oh,
fact, I need Joey. Sorry about that. Got a list of all the bowlers over here. And I do know some of these guys that bowl the Northwest Missouri Senior Bowlers Tour, and plus also bowling enough tournaments down here. I still know some of them, so. And we'll get Joey down here a little bit to talk a little bit. And we'll go switch the other side a little bit. And it's just the way everything situated. It actually turned out pretty well here. And I'll tell you what, this is the first time I've been here at Savage Lanes since the fire. And it's pretty nice. Nice, clean, basic, nothing flashy. Just a good 8-lane center, original wood lanes, approaches. So it'd be nice to kind of see how it turns out, how the lanes transition from synthetics to woods. It's been a while since I bowled on wood and seen the transition, so I'm going to have to kind of keep track and remind myself on how the transition goes. So I'm going to back off a little bit, get some stuff situated and arranged, and I'll get Joey up here and we'll talk a little bit about the tournament sponsors and everything and what's going on. And we're back in a little bit with the 2026 St. Joseph USBC Masters here at Savage Lanes in Savannah, Missouri, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Brian Ragland back with you at Savage Lanes in Savannah, Missouri with the 2026 St. Joe USBC Masters as we are finishing up. We're coming close to the end of game 1 of 6. B squad comes up after this, and I forgot to find out exactly what time that's scheduled for. I'd like to be able to have the scores, but with the angle of the cameras, it makes it kind of difficult. Plus, you have the split between 2 and 3 and 6 and 7. So, cord-wise, the number of cameras, it makes it kind of difficult. But we'll kind of keep you updated on scores after they're done. Actually, this will not be too. Looks like we have 4 on the first pair, 4 on the second, 4 on the third, and 4 all the way across. So, yeah, this won't be too long. And 6 games qualifying, you really don't have a whole lot of time to try to figure out, where you want to be and what you need to do. If someone gets hot and they get hot early, that could end up benefiting pretty well. You don't have the longer format where you can kind of work a little bit to find out where you need to be and what you're throwing. Kind of look at the scores right now. Looks like Brian Manini, if he strikes out, he can go 267. Kind of look at some of the other scores and some of the guys that I know. Looks like Dave Campbell coming up on lane 2. Looks like he's throwing one of the vibe balls, just goes 210. He had the possibility. He had the possibility of going 260, but that 210's going to kind of hurt him a little bit. I'm not sure who is bowling just before him. Someone's going sheet for 279 if they can. And that's on the left side. Take a look over here on the right. Someone, next bowler on 6, looks like he can go 279. There's some scores out there definitely on the fresh right now. Doesn't look like anyone's using a whole lot of surface, and they are bowling on the regular house shot. And 279 is still possible. See if I get Joey over here. Not sure where he's sitting around at. I got to bring you over here because I'm still learning some of these names over here. Joey, I had the horse collar Joey Finley over here. Now, my number one question, because I screwed it up last year. Don't tell me. Piper Greetus? Peeper Greetus.
Peeper Gerties.
Peeper Gertie? Talk on the mic. You have the mic in your hand for a reason.
That would be Peeper Gerties.
Peeper Gertie. So no S.
Well, no, you got to. It's yeah. You put it on the end, but it's hard to say. Hard to spell.
Okay. Yeah, the kindergarten teacher went, what?
Right.
So the total amount of entries this year are how many?
Total number is 36, which is not too bad. 18 in squad. Yeah. We were hoping for a few more, but
Easter weekend kind of makes it difficult sometimes.
it does, and there's a lot of young guys that probably would have played if they didn't have children at home and stuff like that.
It's amazing how that kind of changes life, isn't it?
It is. It is. Does it a lot. Looks like kind of everybody's kind of struggling slightly with
Well,
the
you got-
underreaction.
Yeah, you've got Manini at, he can go 67. Another 260 on lane 2 or 250, I mean.
Yeah, I think that's Dustin Bauman over there.
Okay.
You got Dakota Kessler. He can go for 79.
Yeah, that's it. For as soon as you said that, I recognized him on the name because he made the match play last year.
Yes, sir. Yep.
And I do remember he fought himself to try to get up in the top 5, and he just, the way the lanes transitioned was just kind of different from the qualifying.
Oh yeah, it was, and he's a guy. He likes to play the boards. He hooks the lane pretty good.
Smash on that one. I'm seeing that. If I'm a ball rate and I'm seeing that, I'm going 2 and 1 left. That ball finished a high flush,
Right.
and if he threw it where he wanted to, you got to. And here was something that when I listen to, when I'm working, I'm listening to the Bold TV a lot.
Right.
And you can't, when it's on my phone, you really can't see what the bowlers are doing, but it's fun having Randy Peterson on there.
Oh, I'm sure.
That guy is so good, and they talk about strategy and everything. And they had Chris Barnes on there one time, and everyone knows Chris Barnes might be one of the smarter, active, technical guys on the lanes. And he was talking about migrating like a half board or board and a half, board with your feet, maybe a half with your eyes, like every 4 or 5 frames, to stay ahead of that transition, when it happens. So that's kind of what I'm seeing there on that one. He hit flush, ball carried good, but it was that upper flush that gets you in trouble with that 4-pin, the 4-9, and
Yep. And like I said, it's all about ball angles.
El Manini finishes 66.
Yep.
And so now how many, and I'm curious, and we'll get the owner on here a little bit later talking about, but it's kind of interesting. There's a lot of St. Joe guys that come up here to Bowl League.
Oh yeah, throughout the years it's been kind of a high scoring house. A lot of people enjoy bowling here. It's more of a, local hometown vibe.
Yeah. Everyone knows everyone. You're not going to have a whole lot of the issues or problems or whatnot.
You got that.
But then again, You know, as they say, you know, they could call Savannah like a small town backwoods Missouri, where it's kind of located, just kind of like, okay, right there.
Yep.
Not a bad spot, but
Yeah, and it's only really 10 minutes from St. Joe.
you know,
It seems like it's out in the middle of nowhere because it is a smaller town, but it's actually right there in the mess of everything.
right there between St. Joe and Maryville.
Yes, sir.
I wonder how many from Maryville come down to Bowl too.
There are a few up here at this house. I'm not exactly sure how many, but I think there's probably 10 to 15 that come from Maryville area up here.
So Kessler's still going for 279. That's a pretty smashable throw right there.
Yep, it's looking
In
good.
fact, I think that's what got him in trouble were the later games in the match. But if I remember right, he was up there a little bit and then, you know, going from pair to pair and everything.
Yep.
So 6 games today for A and B squad.
No, eight.
Oh, 8 games.
Yep, yep.
Okay, my bad.
You're good.
So 8 games qualifying for A and B squad,
Yep.
and then cut top 8
Cut to the top
for
8.
the round robin match play.
Yep. And there'll be one guy that gets alternate. And the alternate has to be here tomorrow.
And I figure we'll use 3 and 4 for the step ladder finals.
Yeah, that sounds like a great option.
Well, that just worked out. And I will tell you what, I was kind of, because I hadn't been here since the fire, and you know, me and you had talked when this came up, you know, doing it again. And you know me, we were in St. Joe of Revolutions, and I'm already planning out, okay, cord this and that, already, you know, playing in my head. This worked out about as well as you could get.
Oh, yeah.
Outlet right there. I can put a camera on the front 4 and the back 4 and just leave it.
Yeah, well, yeah, and it's even better for the people that can't get out and get here to watch it. They can watch it from home or what have you. Looks like Dakota finished that game out for 279.
Yep, that's a pretty good start. Congratulations, Manini. You shot 66 in your second.
Yeah, exactly. Colton Hank,
I kinda-
he can shoot 259.
See a 46. Can't see 8. Few pretty good scores. I do like a little bit of the longer format with the 8 games for the fact that it's interesting when you have the 6 to 8. 6 seems quick. You still get transition, but 8 seems to stretch it out just a little bit so the better bowlers will actually make their move, or the better bowlers on that day will be able to make the move off the transition. And
in these lanes here, they break down fairly quick. So probably about game 3, game 4, we're going to see a big transition.
yeah, and I saw 2 transitions, huge ones. Who's that on 2 again?
That's Dustin Bauman.
Bauman. He had the front. He was going for 79. He had to strike through the 6th. That's the second time I looked over and saw his ball, and it read early.
Oh, yeah.
And
I think in this house, 1, 2, 7, and 8 are the one notorious for trying to hook early. The middle lanes, they seem to hold up a little better.
I see a condition like this. Number one, when I see wood lanes, you know the surface is going to be rough.
Yeah, plenty of friction.
So you're battling your fronts with the friction. You know it's going to go quick. And to me, and this is just knowing his game, Dave Campbell's won with the speed. He'll be able to keep the speed up a little bit. Manini definitely. He'll be able to keep the speed up and play it in, and if he needs to, he'll just find whatever bit of friction and just pipe and bump it right against it.
Uh-huh.
And to me, the guys that will have the problem are the ones that try to go left to right too quick.
Right.
Because if you do that, you're just, I think, unless you have something that's still going to get through the fronts, but it's going to tame up your back end. That's where your ball selection is going to be interesting.
Yeah, and you know just as well as I do, wood versus synthetic, the moves are drastically different.
Oh yeah. Well, and it's interesting on when I was working at Flight Lanes in Wichita and we had the overlay. It was amazing on how much less oil you put on the lane on synthetic compared to wood. I mean, you're cut over half.
Oh yeah, probably.
So then you're looking at, okay, as a proprietor, how much money am I saving on the amount of oil that I'm purchasing to put on the lane? And then you start thinking, okay, scores, you hope your score is going to be up and everything, so how long does it take to recoup that expense on the overlay? And if you do it right, you can make it back in pretty decent time.
Oh yeah. Well, and just like everything else, everything's getting kind of expensive right now, so it takes a lot of money to run a bowling alley, and they got to try to cut expense where they can, but they also need the scores for more bowler participation.
Right. In fact, I think I'm going to add, let's see here, let's add this little tidbit here. I'll be getting the scores. Only problem is that's game 2 of 8. There we go. I try to keep as much information as I can. The only problem with this program, I really haven't found one that works out any better, is like Bowl TV. They just link their scores through Lane Talk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Seems
they,
similar with them.
yeah. Plus they have their computer that has a monitor that has all the videos of all the lanes that they have cameras on, plus the scores are with them, so they can just go bang, 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 bang. And even this week in Columbus, where they had over 30, what they have, 32 300s?
Did they really?
Yeah.
I didn't even see that.
Oh my God, crazy.
Well,
And
yeah, the scoring pace was very, very high. I think it took 240 something just to make the cut to 40.
Yeah. And so yeah, they had like 32, 33 300s, and just the 24, 30, 36 games of qualifying, no match play.
Right.
And so they got to the point. Nice spare by Campbell that we missed because I didn't have the camera moved over, but it was to the point where they're, after about 4 or 5 frames, they go, okay, we got about 5 guys we can watch for 300s, and they're just flipping back and forth on the camera. They're just doing a 300 watch.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely crazy, but it'd be nice to have a system like this system they have here at Savage Lanes is a favorite with a lot of the centers that work with Brunswick, and be able to kind of do the same thing and link them in. I'm not sure how they do that. So,
Oh, yeah, that'd be wonderful.
in fact, I am going to Indianapolis the weekend the PWBA is going to be there. So I'm going to talk to some of their technical people and just find out what equipment they use and everything, and see what's possible, see what's feasible on some changes that I could do and upgrades and stuff like that, because I'm always looking at trying something.
Right.
So,
Well, you enjoy doing this, so why not get as much out of it as you can?
Oh yeah. Oh,
and,
that's a nice little.
and once again, for the first time today, I really appreciate you coming up here and
Yeah.
taking care of this for us, and you do a hell of a job. And there aren't very many people that even are interested in doing it anymore.
It's fun to do. It's plus knowing a lot of the people here, and I would have loved to have been able to go up to Omaha and go up there, but man, when you're getting up at 4:30 in the morning on a Sunday, that's a heck of a drive that late back from Omaha back to Ottawa. Getting back to work.
It is.
Plus, I didn't have a doubles partner, so
Well, it was slightly brutal up there for me, so I ended up plus both days, but just really couldn't get anything
not
going.
enough.
Now, Brian Manini, he had a heck of a weekend. I think he got, I don't even remember what he got. A couple of seconds, I don't know.
He tends to do that quite often.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
I think it was him and Tony Mannett Jr., the
Yeah.
doubles partner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a good thing they didn't put anybody good together.
yeah. He had to find someone to carry, all right?
That's right.
And if anybody knows Tony Mannett Jr., knows the sarcasm in that statement. There she is. That's my girl. So now we have an update after game 1 of 8. And as we thought, Dakota Kessler at 279, Brian Manini at 266, Ron Hackins at 258, Ed Whiteley at 255, Dustin Adams 246, Brody Johansson at 25, Ray Noth 214, Dustin Bauman, who had had a really good start, ended up 211, and that's your top 8. Where's that guy at? Saw him at the Masters.
He come down with a heck of a cold or something.
Ooh.
And I guess he got to make a trip to the ER 3 times this week. So
Hello.
he was, I think he's starting to feel better, but he's a little puny.
Yeah.
8 games is a lot.
That's a lot when you're not feeling very well, so.
It can be a lot whenever you are feeling well.
No, I know that. Yeah, I saw Ryan Burks on the Masters broadcast a few times, and
Yep.
he didn't look too bad.
No, he did pretty decent.
As they say, when I go there, I just don't want to embarrass myself.
That's a fact.
Ryan didn't embarrass himself, so.
No, he did not. He did not. I think he ended up, what did he end up, like 160th out of 390 or?
Hey, if you're mid-pack out of 300, that's still pretty good. You're still looking down on the mass of the field.
That's right. That's right. Well, and a lot of people don't understand just how good those guys are.
Saw that one coming. Campbell has the same problem I have with that loop in the swing. I saw, it's like, no, dude, I'm not making fun of you. I just know that feeling is like off your hand. Ah, damn it.
Yep.
So that is TJ that's bowling, correct?
Yeah, TJ.
Okay.
Yep. They're on lane
Peeper
4.
Gris?
Peeper Gerties.
Peeper Gertie.
Yep.
I need me a pencil so I can write that out phonetically.
On lane 4, you got
I do not like butchering anybody's name.
Right. I don't blame you.
I'll tell you my worst name story. So I'm working in Wichita, and you know, at the end of January, when everyone comes back from the holiday break, they have the holiday basketball tournaments.
Right. Right.
So I'm working at a radio station in Wichita. Ulysses had their guys team. Yeah, had their guys team coming to Valley Center for a tournament. Well, the radio station, I guess, wanted to hire someone to do it for them instead of sending someone down for the room and board and everything. I'm like, okay, I'll do it.
Right.
Well, I never got in contact with anybody there. And I'm trying to remember how I got, I can't remember if they sent equipment down or exactly what it was. And I had to figure it out, but it was the worst communicating I've ever had. You know me, I'm into communication. I even called you yesterday.
Yep.
We good to go? Everything's this? All right, cool, sweet, no worries. Kid's last name was spelt A-N-I-S. No, A-N-U-S. Uh-huh.
Let me guess that what we're thinking is not how that was pronounced.
I don't know. I know how I pronounced it.
I hear you.
It was Annis.
Annis?
And I literally said, and I kept trying to, every time I was going to try to get a hold of the coach or whatever and catch up with the coach, I mean, those people were gone. I had zero contact with anybody. And I don't even know how it sounded. I never heard any feedback or anything. I had no contact. It was the strangest thing, but I made the comment on the air. Until further notice, his last name is Annis.
Well,
no one corrected me.
of course they didn't.
And then I actually had to do a women's college basketball. I just remembered this, and this gal had a last name of about 10 letters and 2 vowels.
Okay.
But her first name was Ollie, A-L-I. 5 foot nothing. Little spark plug.
Right.
Again, no one was communicating with me. And I kept trying to, I was asking the press announcer, and he couldn't even get it right. And I'm like, well, you're no help.
Right.
So I just named her Little Ollie
Well,
for the whole game.
hey, that probably worked out better anyway.
Oh, my goodness.
If you had to pronounce it, even if they give you the right pronunciation,
I'd probably still toast it.
Yeah, you'd have done it wrong a couple times.
I'd just call him TJ.
That's right.
Until it becomes pretty fluid like Manini,
Yeah,
it's TJ.
that's right. Well, and
I mean, I know we're not on first name basis, but dude, I'm doing it a favor, trust me.
that's right. Well, and you got Trevor, who was going this B squad at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, it's
They both-
TJ and Trevor.
That's right. That's right.
Now for libel, there's a lot of names I could come up with, but
Well, yeah. I'm sure you could.
in fact, so now is him and Samuel, are they going with you guys to Reno at the same time?
Sam Zeblin?
Yeah,
Uh-huh. Yep.
Samuel.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so it's all right. So I got guys I can watch beforehand
Yes, sir. We're
because we don't bowl until the Friday Saturday after.
Well, yeah, that'll be pretty helpful. I think we have all together, I think it's 10 teams that go out there.
I'll have to. Well, let's see. Last year, Baton Rouge, you guys were there before us,
Right.
and watched Tony Mannett Jr. and his teams. Kind of watching them,
Right.
plus some of the videos, and we were talking about Reno. I have seen nothing of a video that had any kind of shine to it.
Right. Oh, yeah. It seems like it's all got some sort of surface.
Whoa, there's a bounce. That's about a 5 and 3, or at least a zone move.
Uh-huh.
We'll get it switched back over here. I forgot some people are gonna need to remind me to switch the cameras over. I wish there was a way to.
Leave it locked in. Looks like we got Ed Whitley down on lane 7 and 8. He's got the first 5.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a little alternating with the camera tomorrow. But yeah, we'll get.
I'm sure you'll get it figured out.
Oh, we will. We got till tomorrow.
That's right.
But yeah, it now the things that I have seen, or things that I've heard, and then verified by video, is that if you're going to bowl the BJ, the Bowler's Journal is going to hook more than regular double singles. Now, from what I heard, and I can't remember who was doing, it was Brunsnick, was doing a podcast with someone, and they were talking about it, and they said that the Bowler's Journal hooked more than the double singles simply because the Bowler's Journal is running just that pattern. So it's more precise
Right.
because that's all in it. They have one machine, that's what it runs.
Yeah, that makes good sense.
Which I think, in my mind, and maybe it's intentional, I don't know. But you know that, and I don't know. I thought they had machines for just double singles and machines for team. I don't know. I'd have to talk to a friend of mine, Jeff Jensen, that works for USBC at the stadium. So I'll have to ask him about it. But they were saying the reason the Bowler's Journal is more crisp is that they have one. There's that friction already. That's going to have to be a ball down and move left.
Oh yeah.
For Campbell.
Well, and Davey, he got wheels.
He's got some hand.
Yep.
But yeah,
The ball pretty
so
strong.
double singles is tighter, and even on the Bowler's Journal that I've seen, surface. I've seen guys, maybe just a pinch inside 10 and get out to 5, but everything is smooth, everything is surface, and everything for like team and double singles is just the same way.
Yep. No matter what happens, it's always an adventure out there.
Well, and it comes down to the same. This is an example on how lane prep is so valuable. So last year, couldn't do anything on team event because our team didn't work together. We didn't have a practice session together. We just bowled, the Bowler's Journal, and that was it. It hurt us big time.
Right.
This year we have 2 practice sessions. In fact, we have 2 practice sessions. So me and a friend of mine bowled on last year's team event at Fusion Alley in Ottawa. The condition was so under over. It was crazy. And that's just the difference with the type of oil, type of lanes, type of machine. They were using Glide last year. I think it was the first year for Glide. So, your difference of conditioner and everything was just unbelievable.
Right.
So we go in the left lane, and I hit my Rockstar with about 500 or 1,000. Not hard. Kind of looking around with the scores real quick while I'm talking. Still got some good big ones going on. And so I'm throwing it up 10, and I'm throwing it slow with a lot of hand just to get it to burn up. And as soon as I get off the pattern, bang, dead left. Okay, that told me back end's crisp. That's not going to work because as soon as you ball up with anything, you know exactly what the ball's going to do. It's going to go dead left. And that's about what it did for 2-3 games, and neither one of us could keep the ball in the left. Chris would throw a ball, and it would get down lane and look great, and then just snap. And we're looking at each other like, this ain't going to work. So I said, let's go to the other lane. Let's take some plastic, take a spare ball, and just go right from 10 and point it right to the pocket for about 25 balls. And that's all we did, just 10 to the pocket, 10 to the pocket.
Right.
By the end of and that was a half game, so we kind of used, the back half of the first game on that pair or on that lane just to get lined up like regular practice.
Right.
By the time we got midway through the first game or whatever, we were both 5 right and going flush. We still had a little bit of friction to the right, and we had that push that we carried down with the plastic balls, and the ball was setting. And it's like, you can put any pattern out there you want. As long as you know how to manipulate the lane, how to prepare it, you're going to be fine. And that's what makes, a lot of guys on the tour say, I just want to get to match play. Because, the ones that struggle are the ones that probably didn't get to prep the lane the way they wanted to or break them down.
Yeah, it definitely takes a lot of teamwork out on the Nationals patterns to get it broken down where it's even scoreable.
Yeah. Well, and you've got to have all 10 to do that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, and when you get the guys that get to match play and they have the best of 7 or whatever, you know, that just leads to their advantage. From Dan says, tell Shane, a.k.a. my dad, that Kinsley said, I'm watching, love you, and good luck. You got to, you have a
Shane.
now where's Shane at?
Shane's over here on lane 2.
Oh, there he is. Speaking of the devil, any strikes?
No,
That's ring 10. I'm
left
sorry.
at 10. Left at 10, but
All right. No, that is from. Dan was saying good morning, and then Pretzel Pickle. Pretzel Pickle.
good luck, Dad.
We'll have to get Shane over here after. In fact, you know what? The glory is of having a wireless mic. I can take this down with me. So I'll walk over here. Hey, Shane, I got a message for you. No, pretzel pickle. Now, what is pretzel pickle?
Huh?
What is pretzel pickle?
Pretzel pickle?
Yeah,
Did she say that?
pretzel pickle's the name.
I have no idea where that came from.
You'll have to ask and find out what the.
I'm gonna have to ask because I have no idea where she found that name.
So there we go. Message has been. You know what? Where else but this broadcast could you send a message to the broadcast and have it physically delivered to the bowler?
Exactly. Works out great.
There you go.
Looks like we got a
My job is done.
2:30 game, second game. Scores are seeming to come down.
Got another 77. I didn't see who was throwing that. Oh, my goodness. You know what? That was the front 9. We weren't even paying attention. That was a
Man.
front 9 and 7 count.
Talk about sleeping.
48. And I saw Bauman. He has a ball that I haven't seen for a while. Is that Motive Octane?
Yep.
That kind of purple pearl? That was a pretty good ball. When I was throwing Motive, that was. But, okay, I'm going to ask you this question. Get your opinion on this. So Motive is like re-releasing the Revolt. It's the EJ Revolt. It's a limited edition. The ball is going to be like $220.
Right.
Now, everyone knows Venom Shock. I didn't like the Venom Shock that much. To me, the Venom Shock is more of a higher rev rate ball.
Okay.
That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't get a consistent read off of it. And whatever the over-under is that EJ Tackett had, how many of those things he's drilled up.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's got to be 4 digits, pretty close. That guy, you know, don't put that ball in that guy's hand. It's a cheat code.
Oh, it is. It is for him.
But the Revolt Revolt to me was one of their best balls before the Venom Shock. Why would you do a limited edition release on that? Because now you're trying to price it up and make the money instead of make it on mass.
Exactly.
I'd take that ball, sell it for $180, $50, $40, $50 less, and how many more are you going to sell?
That's the way I look at it.
And make more off that?
Yeah, I mean you're right. I guess they're probably just worried about with all the newer balls coming out that they won't sell out of them if they mass produce them.
Well, look at the identity.
Right.
I think the purple and red one rolled better than the green one, the first one they came out with.
Mm-hmm. They got Ed Whitley down there on lane 8. 57 game.
Well, that's going to add 255 game one.
It's going to put him up there then, isn't it?
And what time is the second squad bowl?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, okay.
We hoping to get we like to oil the lanes in advance, so we're hoping somewhere right around 1 o'clock we can oil the lanes just like we oiled these at 7 to start at 8, so we can try to get the shot to lay itself down and do the same thing for both squads.
Well, it's taken an hour to bowl 2 games. I think they need to speed it up a little bit.
Well, it wouldn't hurt nothing, but that'll put them done around 12:30.
Yeah.
Well,
No, but I mean in the sense that the pace is a little bit slower than,
yeah, that's for sure.
you know, usually you figure, what, 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Especially with 4 on a pair. Because, like, you know, even worth bowling, generally 5 start at 9:30 for the senior tour.
Yep. That puts us done usually like right after.
That's 4.5, and that's with 5, and we have 4 in a pair, and we're going 2 hours per.
Yep.
So just a tick slower in ratio.
Yep, it is. Well, some of these guys got their extra concentration on today.
Is that what you call it? Has their extra concentration going?
Yeah.
There's a ball down by Dave Campbell.
Yep. If he gets on a roll, he can kill him. Looks like he's starting to find something anyway.
Well, there's 2 ways to get done quicker. Bowl faster or throw more strikes.
That's a fact. I prefer to do the more strikes.
Now, I ain't
thing,
the smartest guy in the world, but I defy anyone to argue with me on that one.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I don't know why.
There's another one.
We'll get it switched over here in a second. Strike by Colton Hankins. Now, I'm going to make a request.
Okay.
Next year,
Yep.
everyone has to have their names on the back of their shirts.
I just now noticed that some people don't. It'll make it much easier for you.
It would make it definitely easier for me, so I don't have to sound like an idiot going, I don't know who he is, but I'll find out which one he is.
That's right. Well, usually AVZ or Alan Van Zant would be here doing the broadcast with you.
I get to look forward to working with that guy once a year, and he backs out on me.
Yeah, he had something with the bunnies or something.
What
going
a
on this weekend.
schmuck.
I know it.
Golly. But now I can say, I was going to say he was the reason some people might remember when we were at Belt
Right.
doing this. It was like 3 days later we found out that the whole YouTube channel got taken off YouTube.
Yeah, so he
'Cause-
blew it up.
Because they say we violated something. I'm going, it can't be because of Alan.
Right. Exactly.
Well,
Nice
then
guy.
and I told him, I said, well, he was the reason why it happened for whatever, you know.
Well, we can always blame Alan.
Yeah. Well, then he works with me over at Revolutions for the senior tour, and we still have it, so I guess I can't blame him for it. It's like, golly.
There went your scapegoat.
I had a good excuse. I had the variable right there, and he just blew it out the window. So
That's right. On lane 3 there, you got Brad Lingle. He's the owner of Savage Lanes. He's a left-hander, but we won't hold that against him. But threw a real nice strike there.
some lefties are okay. I got a friend of mine. His screen name, and he's a lefty. His screen name was "Wish You Were a Lefty, Right." And I'm like, yes, there are times I wish. That looks like a concept to me.
Yeah, it definitely is. Looked like whenever we pulled it out at the start of the day, it was fresh. So it had a little surface to it coming out of the gate.
Well, he's and he's in that track area for
Yeah.
the wood lane, so that's
Yeah,
that's what you're going to get.
He throws. He got plenty of ball speed too. So
We'll get Brad on here real quick. That ball never even looked at coming up.
nope, it just kind of stayed there.
And you guys draw for starting lane, correct?
Yeah, what we did this year is we have the top 32 are automatic qualifiers,
Right.
and
Well, I mean, but when you get here, you just draw for your
yeah,
starting
they
position on the
drew,
lane.
They drew for their starting lane, but starting with number 1 going to 32, they got to pick whether they wanted to bowl A or B squad. They didn't
Oh, okay.
get to pick where they were going to be starting at,
Got it.
and it worked out pretty good. But we figured that if we tried to bowl all 36 guys at one time, it was going to be a good 7-8 hours worth of bowling, and that was just going to be a train wreck.
Well, that and your transition is going to be
Yeah, even worse than it's going to
Yeah.
be today.
then you'd find out who really could, adjust.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. And as you can kind of tell by watching the bowlers, it's starting to break down pretty good anyway. The lanes are starting to open up, and it's only game 3, so. Got Daniel Pickerel here on lane number 4.
Someone's got to keep after me on that.
Solid 9.
In fact, I can't.
Oh, carried out.
There we go. I was actually watching Bowl TV, and they had game 3 of 6 on there for about half of the game. I'm like, someone forgot to change it about the time it changed. I'm like, okay, I'm not the only one.
Yeah, it happens. You get involved in watching the bowling and trying to talk about the things you see, and then you just forget to change the games. Should be getting our leaderboard in here just a little bit.
A little fist pump by Spear. We call that feeling it. Friend of mine from Jersey who owns the DXB Pro Shop in Terre Haute, his hashtag way back was feeling it. Hits that there, and you get like 3-4 bagger, give you a high five, go feeling it, baby.
I hope they put a shot underneath my ball this afternoon. We'll see.
I'd like to have the ball that had the magic button that just threw a rod out the side.
Exactly. Give it a little extra pin carry.
So I go bowl a 9-pin no tap a couple weeks ago in McPherson. Nice little center. Bo Peterson, the owner of it, actually bowled the Masters also. And I got to talk to him. I shot 900 for doubles. My doubles partner comes up to me and he goes, we only missed the lead by like 20 some sticks. I look at him, I go, that's your fault.
Exactly. I got everything I could get.
And he looks at me and I go, dude, I shot 900. It's your fault. You didn't get enough.
Uh-huh.
And he looks and goes, yeah, okay. So, but my third game was a natural 300. And I look back at Sean. I said, you know what the bad thing is? Because I don't bowl. I bowl once a week in tournaments, practice when I can, so I don't have the amount of games in to be able to have the chance at 300 as much as the rest of them.
Right.
And I told him, I said, you know what the sad thing is? The last 2 natural 300s that I can remember were a 9-pin no tap.
funny how that works.
Now,
Because you're only trying to get 9.
but, and I've said this an awful lot, I think 9-pin no tap might be the best practice you could have.
Oh, yeah.
It gets you to relax. All you're doing is hitting a zone. That's all you have to do.
Yep.
You hit 2 zones, A plus B equals C. You don't even have to get the ball to go through the pins the right way.
No. It can go through flat.
Right. And it's like anymore when I go to tournaments, especially with what we bowl on the senior tour deal, I'm just trying to find the pocket, get to it. I want to find a nice little cushion and leave it there.
Sounds great.
I need to get one of those sound effects, the old school typewriter, the Walter Cronkite. Remember the little sound effects that he had?
Yep.
You can go ahead and announce that.
Well, it looks like, they're not giving us the plus total here, but looks like
You can figure it out.
Mr. Menenetti, he's a plus 143 already. Ed Whitley's in there in the second spot right now with plus 112. And then it looks like, as of right now, the 8th spot is plus 37. So.
And if you figure if you're taking 8 for the cut, 74 right now would be the cut.
Yep.
So the one thing that I didn't realize, and they started talking about it during the Bull TV broadcast, was watching the cut line and seeing how much it goes up. So now we're looking at, it was 55 for the top 4.
At 74.
Now you're 74, so you've gone 120. You go from plus 55 to 174. You're talking a huge jump.
Yep.
So now what's going to be fun is watching these, keeping these 2 sheets. And she turned the page around. See what she did?
Yeah, she screwed us all up. But that's all right.
Yeah. But it's going to be interesting to keep these sheets and compare them to B Squad.
Yeah, see how everything breaks down.
And see how that's going to go.
Yep.
Because we're going to have the dead numbers here. So now we're going to know who's going to need what. So
Yep.
this B Squad is going to be a pretty fun deal to watch, because when you get that last squad, that's when literally everything matters. And here's the other thing that gets me. The Masters last week.
Uh-huh.
Through all the games of qualifying, match play, everything, I can't remember what the total amount of games was. You come down to the last frame where TJ Tackett needed to double.
Yep.
It baffles me. The cut is what?
Plus 37.
No, it's not.
It's not, but that's okay. It's giving you an idea where 8th is at for right now.
Yeah. But yeah, it's amazing when you're on tour how many games you can bowl. And even to make the cut,
Yep.
it was coming down to like the last ball. Someone needed to double or whatever, and it's just, and then the guys go back and look at their sheets, and they're going, well, here, and here. Any of these could have changed anything, or just picking up these spares here, and you start realizing why these guys get mad when they miss a spare.
Well, yeah, and usually when it comes down to the last game, and whether you're in or you're out, everybody's in focus mode, and they're looking to shoot 260 or better. They're not looking to just survive with 200 or nothing.
Pulled a regional in Junction City. Struck a lot. I couldn't spare to save my life. I think I missed like 5 or 6 spares through the 8 games or whatever. I was driving home. A friend of mine texts me and she goes, "You may want to come back. You may make it." I'm like, no. Come to find out, I missed the cut by 25 pins.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, that's why I said no.
And all you needed was two of those 6 to just work out your way.
Because if I picked those up, my attitude would have been totally different on the next ball. So maybe I would have felt a little bit, you know.
Yep.
So yeah, it's crazy. And even my grandson. So he sits there and I did it with my son and did it with my grandson. My son, when he was, 10, 11 or whatever, Dad, look how many strikes I got. I said, yeah, look how many spares you got. Who worries about the spares? I go, here, let me show you. Took a sheet, wrote down his old scores, and I said, if you made these spares, here's what your score would have been.
Right.
Dang.
Yeah, he was probably amazed with the difference.
Uh-huh. So then my grandson's bowling league one time shot like 190. And he was looking at his score. I said, do you realize why you were able to do that? He goes, why? I said, look at your score. He made all his spares.
Right. Yeah, they're pretty important.
I think he had like one or two strikes, but he made all the spares.
Right. Well, and in something like this where you're bowling 8 games or something, well, one spare missed per game is 88.
That's 80 pins.
Yep, and that's going to be huge today.
I bowled a regional up at Thunderbolt in Cedar or next to the Council Bluffs.
Right.
And I was crossing with Ronnie Russell. Ended up being a full-fledged PBA tour, and I didn't know it. And I'm like, oh, okay. I missed cashing my 80-some pins.
Yep.
There you go.
Well, yeah, and you could probably look back and say, well, there's that one.
Yeah.
And the bad thing about it is you can't really count splits, but if you wouldn't have left it in
your
in the
execution
first place,
could have been better on the first shot.
Exactly. Yep.
So, someone says, well, I wasn't even close. I was 80 out. That's one frame a game.
Yeah, you're right.
It's all in how you want to look at it.
Yeah, and I could see by the way it looks like the lanes are transitioned, everybody's probably going to have a not so great game. Now that not so great game might be 190, but when you got Brian Benini starting out plus 140 after 2, it's a long ways.
Thank you. Now, you know me, I'm a numbers guy.
Uh-huh.
I like looking at numbers. So I'm gonna start looking at what we want to do, the top 6 games?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have the top 6 games was 225 in the first game.
Had an adjustment. We had to add Whitley's score in right in the first game.
Okay, cool. So looking at 2, 3, 2, 3. I think I have this right. So the number 6 scorer was 232. When in first game was 225. So the transition kicked up a little bit. And I'm just going to go 4.
Yeah.
The top 4 for that being the cut. So 57. That can't be right. Wow.
Plus 74.
huge. Because that would have been 5. What the hell? You know what? I'm ignorant. I'm ignorant. Wow. It just, you said it and it didn't hit my head, and I'm to look at it going, something's not right. And I'm going, yeah, I'm ignorant.
Well, it happens.
So the top 4 went down from 55 to 24 off the cut. Or 21. So that's kind of the numbers that I look at to kind of get an idea of what the, trying to see.
Got TJ, your favorite last name, TJ Piepinger. He's down there on lane 8. He can strike out for 240.
Jesse boy, I'm telling you, son. I'm glad you got long legs and you're pretty flexible. You can step up high enough. That guy.
He's a great guy.
Yeah. As they say, I think we'll keep him.
Yeah.
Not like we had much of a choice or anything, but makes him feel better, right?
That's right. Well, and if we had to pick and we picked him, we'd be picking a good one.
Yeah. Him and Samuel both.
Yeah.
I don't call Sam Zebling. That's Samuel to me.
Well, we've all become pretty close bowling the Northwest Tour. Oh, look at that. Shano rolled one out.
Got a message from you from Dan.
What'd he say?
We got it corrected now.
We're better now then.
I said, yeah, he does that.
That's right.
So then we're looking at also the right lane. Right lane looking at a, what?
240.
No, that'd be 220. I'm sorry. I didn't see that was a spare.
245 for TJ Pieper.
Yeah, I got another 240 over here. Manini.
I'm not sure which one he is.
He can go 57. Manini doing Manini.
Imagine that.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Uh-huh. Shane, he finishes with a 255 game, and good thing his daughter said, come on, Dad, Pookie, or whatever she called him.
I can guarantee I know what ball that Manini's throwing.
You think?
It's got to be the alert.
Yeah.
He really did like the Crown Victory.
Uh-huh.
Then they came out with the alert was like the Crown Victory on steroids.
Uh-huh.
He's liking that one. And I'll tell you what, I have delved into some EBI stuff. Oh my, on the V1 Tour and the Dynasty.
Oh, yeah.
That-
I seen that Dynasty last weekend. I bowled with Steve Slocum, which he turned out and he won the Sunday event up in Omaha. And
Ooh, nice pull on Manini.
that ball was amazing.
That ball is really good for him, and I'll even tell you my Dynasty story. I have an illegal Dynasty.
Oh, yeah? How's that work?
Well, so I have a drill press at home. It's not much of one. It just does what I need. 3 holes, boom, I'm done.
Right.
Thumb sleeve, grips, good. So I went and drilled the vacuum grip, and I pulled the bit up and go to switch it, and there was an air bubble. I am an innie with another 250. So I got a hold of Bowler's Mart, which I get my stuff from. Showed them pictures. They get hold of Hammer. Hammer said, yeah, we'll warranty it. Just drill through the serial number. All right.
Yeah.
So I went, do I need to send it back? No, you've drilled through the serial number. You can't do anything with it now.
Oh, okay.
You want to bet?
Yeah, that's right.
You want to bet?
That's right.
So I took it to a friend of mine. I said, hey, just plug it up.
Right.
It's a Sunday night mixed league. Yeah, I threw it a couple games. That ball's pretty good.
Uh-huh.
And I'll tell you what, it might be. I am known for not being able to go to nationals and not bring an extra ball home.
Well,
That might, either that one. I haven't thrown the Vengeance yet. I haven't seen too much of the Vengeance, but I don't want to. I just want to go heavy surface. I don't want to do that.
right.
But knowing the Dynasty, and I had the Bionic, and my son nailed it perfect because he has them both that he throws. And he said, Dynasty is a lot sooner than the Bionic, but both hit just as hard. And, you know, after doing some looking, some testing and stuff. Oh, just talk, Rick. Good, for God's sakes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, look who you're dealing with.
Manini shot 800. Out of the
Okay,
gate.
so Manini shot 300. So he's struggling.
800.
I said 800.
You said 300.
No, I'm
That's
sorry.
all right.
I'm struggling.
Yeah, that's not a bad set right out of the gate.
Yeah.
What do he have? 543, 50. He shot 800 right on the nose.
Yeah,
800 right on
that's
the
what he does.
Brian Manini. Yeah.
So yeah, I went ahead and I told him, I said, just plug it up. I'm going to throw it anyway and see if I like it.
Right.
Oh, I like it. It's just that nice mid lane, and they put the puck back on that gas mask core that they took off for the V1. And I'll tell you what, that V1, when they start getting in the transition and stuff,
Yeah.
that V1 will sit down for you.
Huh.
It won't do that violent with that puck in it.
Right.
In fact, that puck on that gas mask core on the Dynasty is so high, you hit that puck when you're drilling your fingers.
Huh.
If you're doing a close pin to your fingers, you're drilling into that puck.
Huh.
So you may want to find out how big that puck is up top, and if you don't want to get into that puck and change the numbers on it, you may want to do a high pin with it and get down far enough so you're not getting into it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I'm like, holy crap, that's the puck core.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you got Ed Whitley over on lane 2 there. He's coming up with a nice 248 game here as long as he spares.
And Campbell's going to go 30, 35 on his.
Yeah, Davy's making a little bit of move after the first game. He went 44-35, I think.
Okay, we made up 5 minutes
That's right. We did.
on game 3. Speaking of game 3, you know what I'm going to do without being told?
You're not going to switch that over yet.
I did.
Wow.
Because I can do that. I have said authority. So we are done with 3 games of 5. And looking scores 55, 48. And then we have another
44, 35, 34.
so
57.
that transition's definitely,
Helping right now.
yeah.
Scores have ramped up the third game here.
So 32 was the 6th top score. And I'm kind of looking kind of interesting after, even had a 33, but even then there's not many. There's only, I guess there was another 33, but 3 220s. The rest of them were one teen, 120, one teen, and the rest were subs.
Yep.
So we'll get the updated score here in a little bit. Kind of gives you an idea too with not bowling till the B squad to find out, what you need to do.
Oh yeah,
Sounds like Joey's mic is not turned on.
I can turn it off.
Well, I'm hearing him pretty well right now. Through my headset, we have the both. Yeah, but at the same time, Dan, Joey turns his head and doesn't move the mic with it.
That's a fact.
He's not a trained professional like I am.
True. Very true.
You know what? Maybe you did. Maybe you did have yours turned off.
I might have screwed around with it enough that I got it turned off.
Hey, Lisa, is that normal for Joey to screw around enough to turn it off? I got to ask her about that.
Hey, I'm going to have her come over here and talk for a while so I can see if there's any important business I need
Well,
to
go
attend
get her.
to. She's coming.
Go get her. She's better looking than you are anyway.
I know.
So we are getting into game 4 of 8, and Joey Finley's going to bail out for a little bit, and I get to talk to the better half of the Finley family and my insurance agent, who gave me a sense of secureness yesterday, knowing that the storms were coming in. If anything happened to my truck, I wasn't going to have to go far to call my agent.
Nope, and you were going to be taken care of
I was
very
going
well.
very quickly. I tell you what, you got a pretty cool staff over there in the office.
Thank you. They try their best.
I know there had to be some times where they were rolling their eyes when I was in the process of getting a truck. Because I'm not sure.
No, not at all.
I'm not sure. Well, I think it had to be like three or four times they set up insurance on a truck that I was going to get, and I had one. I think it was 3, because I had one I was going to get, and then the dealership was dumb enough on a sold vehicle not to pull it into the shop when storms were coming, and had $5,000 worth of hail damage on a truck. Well, that was smart. Now you got an insurance claim and you just lost a sale. That's smart.
Right.
Go to look at another truck, end up being a piece of trash from what they showed on the website, and then got lucky and found mine. So I guess it was only 3 times they had to change the deposit for the new truck and reimburse it, and then reimburse it, and deposit again.
But the good thing is that you were shopping for your insurance before you bought the truck. There's a lot of people that buy a vehicle and they have no idea what it's going to cost.
Yeah, I guess that was part of something I told my son. I go, dude, he goes, Mom, Dad, my payment's only going to be X amount. I go, you know what? You have another payment on the car.
That's right.
And he didn't realize it, and he was looking at one, and it was a bunch. He goes, but I'm going, that's it. That's how it is.
That's it.
So, but then when I did switch over to you, did save me a little bit of money from when I think you lowered. I think my car lowered more than what my house went up, or vice versa.
Yes. You had overall savings, yes.
Yeah, one of them went up less than the other one went down. So I actually ended up in the negative. Game 3. Da-da-da-da.
Got some updates.
I told Joey I need to get the sound effect. Remember when Walter Cronkite would come on for the news and they had the little ticker sound?
Yes.
And behind, I need to get that. That would be cool. So Brian Manini, 800 on the button, 66, 77, 57. Ed Whitley is at 130 over. Dustin Adams at 115 over. Dakota Kessler at 109. Dustin Bauman at 71. At 70 over is Dave Campbell. TJ's at 65. And at 64 is Brody Johansson. And so we're going to run the cut, kind of what I've been doing. So 30, 26. So the cut at the top 4, then I'm just splitting the 4 because we take 8 tomorrow. The cut is now at $235 a game. Or no. So it actually went up 14 pins. And take a look at the top 6 games. Had a 55 by Shane Spear, 57 by Manini, 48 by Ed Whitley, 45 by TJ, 44 by Dustin Adams, and 234 by Dustin Bowman. Now the interesting part of that is that we had more 230s in the game 2 and only 1 on game 3. And after that there's only, well, there's a 35, I'll take that back, 35 by Dave Campbell. So that's my fault. But still had a 34. Okay, 706. All right, that'll work. So we have another correction. So instead of 709, Dakota Kessler is at 706. So we're saying 106 is the cut right now. Anyway, so there was a question with the question we had that Joey said. Now I can't remember. He said something about he messed with things enough to screw him up. I was looking around to see if that was true, and he goes, that's my sign to get out of here. So, but yeah, it anytime I've had to deal with the gals in the office, they've always been pretty cool.
Great.
And
I love to hear that.
And plus, you got to see the other side of me when someone's messing around with my money.
Yes. And just like to kind of mention the sponsors. We want to thank all of the sponsors at this moment just for contributing to the funds of the prize money, also to the televised of the watch of this 2026 Masters tournament.
Yeah, and plus, what I think it's, I don't think people actually realize is when you're sponsoring something, not only you're supporting something that you're putting money toward to keep going,
Yes.
but you're getting your name out there, and you can't look. And I kept telling people, this when they would sponsor my broadcasts that I did for the high school and stuff. But it would be, you can't look at it as an investment.
No, you can't.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, people see what you're supporting, and when they, the repetition of that name being done, when they need something,
They're going to lean on those people.
they're going to remember it's going to be one of the first things that hits their head. So you have to go with the mindset that you're supporting something you're not looking to investing to make money off of.
Yes.
That's advertising. This is sponsorship. There's there's a line between sponsorship and advertising.
Yes. Just like in my line of business, you're not necessarily thinking of insurance all the time. Most people aren't thinking about their insurance. However, if they bowled in a tournament 2 weeks ago and all of a sudden they get the renewal papers in the mail and their policies go up and the premium increases, then they're going to think back of who sponsored that tournament 2 weeks ago.
Right.
So they're just going to think of the individuals that actually supported them along the way in the last 6 months.
Yeah, it's I don't know it, and anymore it's hard to. Yeah, it's hard to get the money to keep things going on and stuff, but at the same time, if you don't sponsor / advertise, whatever you want to call it, no one's going to see you. And
Yes.
if not, you better have a big ass sign with really bright lights outside your business so everyone sees it. But even then, that's usually not enough.
No. I have my face on my car and it's not enough. So,
Hey, I know you. Your face is on a car.
that's right.
I don't have the guts enough to put my face on the car, so you're far better than I am. And then now see, I'm a Chevy and Dodge guy, so the fact that you got a Chevy dealership is good.
Yes. Victory Chevrolet, they're definitely a great sponsor. They've been sponsoring us a few years now, so we thank them for their sponsorship.
And the other one's Ryan Lawn? No. The other sponsor. I couldn't find their logo anywhere. Oh. Ryan Farms.
Yes.
I couldn't find their logo anywhere, so we got to make sure we keep mentioning them.
Yes, absolutely. It's important to mention all of our sponsors. It's great to see a lot of these high caliber bowlers in St. Joe, Missouri and Savannah area. Some of them are outside of those two areas, but most generally they're local bowlers, and it's great to take a weekend to really watch these bowlers and all of the talent that they have and making the top 32 bowlers to make this tournament. It's very interesting. It's great to see that bowling is still alive. There's great competition amongst these bowlers, and not only are they competed against each other, but they're also great friends. So,
Kind of like the senior tour.
yes.
There's really no one there that no one doesn't know.
Right.
So that's kind of the nice thing about that.
And the Northwest Bowler Senior Tour actually sponsors this event as well, so we want to thank them for their sponsorship.
And huge thanks to Dan for letting us use the YouTube page to be able to broadcast it.
Yes, absolutely.
In fact, I think what I might do is get with Joey and set up a Gmail account so that the USBC can have their own YouTube page.
Yeah, that would be great.
Not too hard to do.
No.
Just like setting up a Gmail account.
I think they would really appreciate that. There's a lot of events that they could televise.
These guys are on the move.
They are.
They're already past the 6th, under the 7th. Scores are starting to that transition from that first game is starting to increase a little bit.
I think the lanes are starting to transition.
Yeah, the 230s seem to be your over-under number right now. So the breakdown from game 2 to game 3 on the cut at 4 went down 2 pins. So it's kind of like more, kind of the, let's see. He had a 77 that kind of added that up a little bit, and then you go 57. So your higher score was game 2, but you have more scores around the 250 area. So kind of starting to settle a little bit. Actually, I need to switch this over to the left side, trying to see some of the scores. 7036. So Andy Weiss can go 260. Just got done throwing on lane 2. And Ricky Barrett on lane 1. I'm trying to see. I believe Manini. Is no. Manini, I think, is B. I don't know if that's TJ. No, I think that's TJ. So it looks like Manini, after shooting 800 the first 3, looks like he can go 48. And Weiss misses the 10 pin. We were talking, me and Joey were just talking about missing the spares and missing that one a game. It's like, that kind of hurt me.
Yeah. It can change in a heartbeat, missing those spares.
So do you get someone like storms are predicted, and I mean, if anyone looked down to the south, they saw that line of storms that was down there that was pretty heavy.
Yes.
As an agent, do you start getting a little nervous or anything?
Absolutely.
Okay, I was just checking.
It is nerve-wracking.
Oh, we're going to have a busy week this week, aren't we?
Yeah. Really ramp up the phone calls and the claims.
So, okay, let's go this route. A brief synopsis. I call you. The adjuster comes out and looks at the vehicle, whether it be an accident, hail damage, store damage, whatever. Obviously, I can have someone that I choose to look at it also, correct?
Yes, absolutely. You don't have to actually stay with one place. You can get several quotes so that you can do a comparison. And we encourage people to do that. It's definitely good for you to see whether or not your claim's going to be higher with someone else. You're going to have to pay that deductible regardless.
Right.
However, it's great to know that our customers do try to save us some money, because in the end, we're all in the same pool of insurance.
So I get the estimates, and I turn it into you, and you send it into corporate?
Yes, yeah, we send it into the claims adjuster to review and follow the protocol as far as looking at those estimates, and then they'll let you know that the claim has been approved so that you can get your vehicle fixed.
Usually turnaround time on something like that isn't too bad, is it?
We have a standard practice that we notify our customers within 24 to 48 hours after a claim has been reported.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so it's a great turnaround. We're very proud of that. We have exceptional claim service, which is why I sell Shelter, is because it's a great product, and we stand behind our customers whenever things go bad.
So, and basically you're not set to, you have to use X mechanic or X body shop or
That's correct.
whatever.
You can use whoever you'd like, whoever you trust. That gives you the opportunity to go to someone that you trust, or someone that you built that relationship with that you know is going to do a good job on your vehicle.
And they would, and actually, and corporate would rather you find a better deal anyway,
Yes,
so it's less out of their pocket.
absolutely.
Nice 5 count by Manini there. Finishes 243. Let's see. Kessler can go 240 on a sheet. And Trying to see some of the others. Some of the other scores. 259 over here in 5 and 6. I'm not sure who shot that. He's forgetting stuff. But scores, I'm not going to say settling. I am gonna say I am not seeing as many of the. Well, I've seen the 250. Will be 240s.
There's a 259 on late 5.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have a bigger drop off because I'm not seeing too many 230s. We'll see what. Harden, well. Switch over here. Harden left a 7-pin. Noth, he's going to carry the 10. So he's going to go 230 with the next strike. Hankins can go 220 on. No, he can go 230. Yeah. He can go 230 on the sheet. So a couple 230s. So they're kind of looks like they're holding a little bit steady.
One of the pieces I would like to recognize Jesse Campbell and Joey Finley for doing is putting up, you can kind of see in our video that there's flags back
Those are
on
cool.
the backdrop, and it's prior champions, and it's neat to see who actually has won this tournament, who's still bowling in this tournament today.
Yeah, I think that's kind of cool. I noticed that last year, and I'm like, that's just a little added deal. And it's not a huge expense, but it gives it a nice look.
That's right. That's right. It's nice to recognize those Masters champions from prior years, and they're pretty proud of their banners.
Let's see what Kessler does here. Kessler can finish 240 with a double. Pretty flush. Yeah, he does like to wheel it left to right, that's for sure. And you're halfway done. Now it's the next 4 games because he's already deep enough. Now it's going to be interesting to see what happens the next 4 games.
And some people don't know this, but Dakota Kessler was bowler of the year last year. So
Oh, was he?
yeah, very interesting. He's a great bowler.
I do remember him from making the finals last year. So a 240 for Kessler. So a couple 240s. 3. Huh? Okay. There's 2 240s over there. The 250. Menini with 240. So pace kind of seems like it's sticking around a little bit. Well, that ball just sat nicely. So this is the pair we're going to be using for the stepladder finals 3 and 4. And we'll get the camera angle changed a little bit for tomorrow. I probably should have moved the camera over the other side, but we'll get that tomorrow.
And what time are we televising tomorrow? Is the
I
entire
believe it's
day?
8 o'clock for the match
Okay.
play.
Okay.
You know, this is my day off, but yet he is making me get up at like 5 in the morning, which is okay because I can't remember the last time I woke up to my alarm clock anyway for work. So
There you go.
I had mine set for 5:30. I was going to take a quick shower and felt like I was asleep forever, and it was only 1:20. What the hell? then trying to fight to get back to sleep. Then I'm up at 4. Then I'm up at 4:15. Then I'm up at 5 o'clock. I'm like,
Those restless nights are hard.
I'll tell you what, and this is unsolicited. Over there on is it Frederick or Frederick?
Frederick.
Okay, because my GPS said Frederick, and there is an E after the D.
Yes.
So I didn't know if the St. John's said Frederick or Frederick.
Frederick. Yeah, that's on the GPS.
But right there on the corner of Frederick and that first light to the
Woodbine.
west, Woodbine, whatever.
Woodbine.
Sweet Dream Donuts.
Yes. Great donut.
Pretty good. Nice little crisp on the outside and nice and fluffy on the inside. You bite into it and you hear that slightest crunch. It's like, okay.
Did you have some of those this morning?
I had 3 of those. I had 2 glazed and 1 maple,
There you go.
and some chocolate milk in my truck.
There you go.
Kind of takes me back to my. I grew up on Daylight Donuts.
Okay.
It's a staple. Okay, here's a trivia question for you.
Oh no.
The movie Armageddon.
Yes.
Remember when Bear was getting a tattoo,
Yes.
and his mom brought him donuts? You know what kind of donuts she brought him?
I do not
Daylight
know.
Donuts.
Daylight donut.
I'm like, I looked at him, I go, Mom, Daylight Donuts is on a movie. I couldn't believe it. I was freaking out. But yeah, that was Sunday morning at Grandma Grandpa's. You knew it was time to get up and get ready for church. Grandpa's walking in with a box of Daylight Donuts. Everyone had that and a glass of milk and everything, and you got ready for church. And as soon as Grandpa was out the door walking to church, that was a couple blocks down, it was time to go.
Yeah.
He was going with you or without you. So yeah, that place over there, they kind of gives me the Daylight Donut-esque vibe.
So every time you watch Armageddon, you're craving Daylight donuts.
I'll tell you what, I love the movie, but there's one scene I cannot watch.
Okay.
And when I saw it the first time, I bawled. It's when Bruce was telling his daughter bye.
Yes. Very, very
And
sentimental,
at that one,
emotional time in
and
the movie.
right, and when I saw her on the screen like that, I saw my daughter because she had the long brown hair.
Okay.
And I'm like, no. It's like MASH when I just can't watch the whole episode of when Henry Blake left home and died in the helicopter crash. I know the thing by heart, but I can't watch it because I don't want to watch it when Radar comes in and tells everyone. Tell me you know about that.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Another little side note. Did you know that when Gary Berghoff walked into the operating room on that shoot, nobody knew what he was going to say? Even Gary Berghoff did not know what he was going to say until they shot that scene and they gave him his lines and told him what the result was.
Wow.
So that whole thing was total raw, fresh emotion.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, that might be one of the absolute purest scenes shot in history, because literally nobody knew. Yeah, I'm a kind of like a MASH aficionado. Remember the time capsule they buried before the end of the movie?
Yes.
Did you know that thing got dug up like 2 months afterwards?
Really?
They actually buried a time capsule on the set. I mean, off camera and everything, but they actually did buried a capsule. That set got totally destroyed,
Wow.
and the crews found the time capsule and went back to Alan Alda and asked him what they wanted to do with it. He goes, "You guys are supposed to leave it. It was supposed to be there for like 50 years. You guys done screwed it up already." So, and I think that whole area had a fire too at one point. So that was like the. Oh, where's Walter Cronkite?
Next update.
We are in Game 5, and I didn't change. Shocker, shocker, leading by almost 100 pins. Brian Manini is 243 over. At 150 is Dakota Kessler off his 245. Dustin Adams at 131. At fourth is Ed Whitley coming off his 25, 57, and 48, falls down to 97, and he's at 927. Brad Lingle is at 17 over, or 117 over, excuse me. 116 over is Dustin Ballman. Brody Johansson is at 102, and 89 over is Ray Noth. And like I said, we don't have the, we have the 250, but we have a number of 240s. We actually had 4 240s and a 37. And that's your 6. Anything under that, there's only 1 220, 1 220, 1 210, and the rest are 2 O's. She's going to bail out on me. So your top 4 went down another 4 pins. So we'll see how this is going. She got bored of me. Does that happen a lot? Does she get bored real quick, or she just... So the scores are kind of interesting, Joey.
How are they?
So we go from 237 on the cut, but that was with a 277.
Right.
So our cut goes down, and we're talking to cut on top. I'm just taking top 4.
Right.
Goes down 2 pins at 235, but we had more 240s and 230s. Now we're down to 231, and we still have 4 240s, a 250 and a 230. So they're clumping together. But what's interesting, we had 1 220, 1 210, and the rest are 2 O's.
Everybody
and
struggled
under.
after that.
So we call that the cream rising to the top.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I see.
I hope Brandon and Dan can hear me now.
Well, if not, I'm sure Dan's going to let us know.
He might.
That's what he does. I think I've chewed that gum into oblivion right now. I will actually. What's your biggest superstition when you're bowling?
Usually whenever I'm lining up on
Manini's dabbing his eyes. He shoots 1040 and he's dabbing his eyes. Really, dude, shake it off.
I wish you could see him. He's crying.
I know it.
But I think mine is if I'm up on the approach and somebody stands in front of me.
No, your superstition.
Oh, well, I don't know. Superstition.
Not one of your.
Superstition. A lot of people's superstition, mine maybe too, is somebody's got to split up on the lane next to me.
Yeah.
I might wait for them to
You'll wait for them.
clear it off the lane.
One of mine is if I'm chewing a piece of gum and I'm bowling well, as long as I'm bowling well, I will chew that piece of gum into a brick.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I will not get rid of that gum.
Well,
I don't know why.
On the other hand of that, it's if you have to go to the facility and you're on a string of strikes.
No.
I got that one.
No, I'm not leaving.
Yeah, I'm not going to the.
I'm not
going to the facility. I'm waiting.
Dude, there's a center mass that's in working here. I'm not gonna change that center mass. There's a reason it's working.
Exactly right. Throw you totally out of balance if you win.
If you have to put if I'm bowling a tournament like the pros were this week, and I'm bowling the way I was, if you got to put a catheter bag on me, I'm going because my weight distribution is just where I need it.
That's right.
I'm not changing anything.
That's right.
Yeah, that was crazy. In fact, I shared it with our nationals group. Where was it at? Yeah, I got to tell you, I got to send that to you. Yeah, but the Ryan Barnes bowled over 1,500 for 5 consecutive 6-game blocks this week.
Wow.
Plus, you take a look at Francois Lavoie. He broke the 6 and 12-game record and didn't make the show.
Yeah.
I mean, the scores on those things were just crazy.
Well, what was the average that one block? Wasn't it like 277 or something like that? Might have been 280.
I wonder if, I'm pretty sure I saved that also.
He had 300 and 299s.
I thought I sent it to him. Francois Lavoie shot 1691 for 6 games. Yeah, 1691 for 6 games, 3,200 for 12.
Wow. Yep, 400. He was 400 over, so yeah, he was
281.8
280. That's
for the 1691.
insane.
And then you had yeah, he's averaging 260 for the 12. So for that day, well, let's even delve more into it. 691 plus 1300. Ain't right. Sometimes I hate this. So for the 6-game block and the 12-game, well, you can't add it because those were one together. So yeah, he averaged 260 whatever for the 12 games. It's just and here's the thing. And you go back to the Masters. Hey, I don't mind seeing strikes. I mean, I'm not the kind of person that wants to bowl in a tournament where everyone is striking.
Right.
I don't want to get into a carry fest. I can hit the pocket with most anything. It's that carry situation. You know, I don't want to lose a match. I mean, E.J. Tackett, the right lane was giving him problems. He left 3 10 pins in a row.
Right.
I hate that. But they did this urethane band deal. So guys were taking, who was it? I even heard someone took a 180 pad to a plastic ball.
Yeah.
And there's a couple guys that have a podcast, and I can't remember the name of it and who they are. But the guy repeated the same thing that I told a friend of mine. Well, if you don't want them to throw urethane or be able to do that with plastic, don't put that pattern out.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys control what they throw, when they throw, and where they throw it with the pattern. Now, granted, as we talked about, you can manipulate a pattern, but not every pattern is going to be a urethane-esque pattern.
Oh, that's true. And it
Dude. Right, but you're doing okay not making those shots. Are you saying your luck ran out, Brian? Okay. He's taking a hiatus. You tell me a senior bowler, even on the national tour, tell me a senior bowler that has as much power as Manini does. Because Manini has power, a lot more power than most guys.
Oh, well, yeah. And ball speed. He turns the ball in a different rotation than a lot of people, and it creates a lot of scouts.
Now Manini, you know, like with Ryan Barnes and Belmonte, it's not. I mean, those guys aren't in the realm of Jesper Svensson, Oscar Perlarma. You know, the guys that had the rev rate, the two hands, and they threw it hard. Now, if they can move to the outside and just pipe it, Spencer Robards.
Yep.
I mean, to me, the best hit that guy has is a light one.
Oh yeah, and he made the show this week.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not going to squirrel, but bold prediction: EJ's going to win it, and I'll tell you why. He led 2 tournaments, got beat by the number 5 seed.
Yep.
EJ Taggart's the number 5 seed. He's going, I'm going to try my luck a little bit different. I'm going to go on the bottom and run the ladder.
Hey, why not run the ladder? Don't wait for one shot.
But when I see, okay, we'll just Brian Manini is, dare I say, upper echelon or upper tier of the guys that when they need to, he can throw that thing 18, 19, push it up against a shim, and just blow the pins up.
Boy, yeah, and that's one of the best aspects of his game. If slowing down and speeding up, he can play the same part of the lane.
Now, to me, his speed right now is like like a fluff speed.
Yeah.
He's not hitting it. He's just, rolling
Getting
it off
down
his
the lane.
hand.
Yep.
When he needs to get that torque rate going, he can do that. But if you see what he's done compared to like Kessler and a bunch of other guys, they're going dead left to right.
Yep.
He's just off with the hand, and he's keeping everything tight, and he's playing inside that shim.
Right.
I mean, he has a 92 pin lead on everyone else. Well, he doesn't have to, he doesn't have to create something.
Right. Well, his normal speed is high anyway, so that gives him a little bit of advantage on these high friction lanes anyway.
Kind of like TJ.
Yep. TJ.
He's, he doesn't have that hand, but he has that speed where he can get it through. And on that one, I didn't have the camera on it, but he threw his with a lot of side roll, but it's forward, and it's just seeing the friction and setting up. He's not playing it to create a whole lot of back end. He's doing a nice set and roll with it.
Right. I suppose I should mention the champions, the Masters champions that are bowling in this squad.
Oh, yeah, I mentioned those earlier.
Yep. Jesse Campbell down on lane 2. I believe he's won it 3 times.
Here's your sheet.
And then his son, Davey Campbell, that's bowling on 1 and 2 with him. He's won, I think, twice now. I know he's won once, but that's the main thing that matters, I guess. Then here on lane 3 and 4, right out in front of us.
TJ goes 278.
Oh yeah.
That'll help him out a little bit.
Heck yeah. You got Andy Weiss on 3 and 4. He's the defending champion. Brad Lingle, he's down on 7 and 8. He's a champion.
And got another 275. 5 count? 5 count, 275.
Awesome.
And get one more. So scores are going up a little bit. Already have a couple 270s.
The cream is definitely rising to the top.
So Colton Hackins, he had to do something.
Yeah, he needed to make a move.
This won't hurt him none.
No, it will not.
So the top 8, how many cash do you have after the 8?
After both squads, the top 8 get paid, and then the alternate gets paid.
Okay.
So basically,
That's still not a bad ratio when
1
you're
and
talking
4.
36. That's
Yeah.
about standard.
Yep, 1 and 4. It's fun putting this thing together. It's
So
hard,
Manini with the 208.
hard work. Yeah, now he's only plus 250 after 4.
Where's Dakota at? Is he back over here? So scheduled for 2 o'clock? And 2 o'clock for the B squad.
Yes.
And we will get. Actually, I need to do something here real quick because I just realized. Boom. Yeah. See if that changes or if I have to reload that. I forgot to take the blue screen off the back of the Victory Chevrolet. See, that's what I love about computers. All I did was change it in Photoshop, and it trailed it, and it changed it right there on the screen.
That's awesome.
Hey, if I went to Johnson County for a little bit for computer graphics. If I did anything else out of it, I still got my CS5 out of it, and I can still use a little bit here. So
Heck yeah. I don't know nothing about these computers.
I'll tell you the one thing that got me about that was these professors, teachers, or whatever, and they're talking about CS is Creative Suites. So they had CS 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. Now it's just you don't get the CD that has a program that you load into it. Now you just pay for what you want off the computer, and you download it from the website.
Right.
And they have all these updates all the time. And it kills me how these professors, teachers, and it might be just because they do it all the time, so they already know what the little changes are. But it's like, they just changed that and you're a freaking expert on it already.
Right.
I'm still trying to get all this stuff. There's so much that Photoshop does that I don't even use. Don't even get me going on Illustrator. That thing. I thought computer graphics was going to be pretty easy, but yeah, no.
Right. Yeah, we got Dakota Kessler over here on lane 6. He can punch out for 258. I got a little love tap there.
So a couple 270s. We'll have a 250. See what Dakota does here real quick. And 257, so that'll work out pretty well.
Yep, that'll keep him up there at the top.
As they say, that does not suck.
Exactly.
Okay, I just realized. I'll tell you what. The thing I like about this place, it's nothing flashy.
No.
It's just a nice place. Now, the only thing I would do, if I'm an owner, it's just my little, and maybe it's because where I grew up bowling at All-Star in Salina, which is now a church, and they've gutted the whole inside, and you can't even tell what used to be where, is All-Star had curtains down the side.
Uh-huh.
And it was so much of a sound absorption.
Oh, okay.
What's going on, man? Good seeing you.
We got Ed Whitley over here on lane 5 and 6 also. He's another strike hero game in the 250s. And he got it.
scores are going up a little bit.
Yeah, they are.
And I'm trying to see how many are actually going left to right comparatively to trying to just play up that putt a little bit. And
It don't look like a bunch.
still have another 240. So some 240s, some 250s, couple 270s.
Yep. Ronnie Hankins, 242.
Well, that's not gonna.
It's not going to hurt him any.
No. So this is going to be interesting when the sheet comes up on the update.
Yeah, it looks like a few people are making some moves.
And you know what? Now the pace is kicking up
Yep.
because we've already kicked off 15 or taken off 15 minutes the last two games.
Right.
Okay.
Well, when you throw more strikes, it seems to go a little
Well,
faster.
I tried to tell them, and I think they heard me.
Maybe.
So, okay. So, Savage Lanes, how's the food?
It's actually good. The tenderloin. I had the tenderloin the other day.
Why did Sonic get rid of the pork tenderloins? Those things were awesome. How could you do that? I'm asking for a friend.
A lot of these places, they come up with something good, and then it disappears. You know, that's like the McRib at McDonald's.
I never had it.
Well, I've had it, and it's all right to me, but you wouldn't believe how many people get in line as soon as that thing comes in season.
And it might be the reason why they do is because if they left it there all the time, it would die out. So now they're just, it's like the Shamrock Shake.
Right?
Oh my God! the first time I had a Shamrock Shake, we'll just say that's when I found out what the color of food does.
I know where you're going with that.
Mom!
What's wrong with me?
It was good. Nobody warned me about that. Oh my God!
On lane 4, you got Brody
Whoa,
Johansson. He's hooking the lane.
That's not going to work.
No. Came up just a little short. Probably running out of energy.
Well, I don't think he meant to go quite that far left to right.
Yeah, probably not.
Now I'll switch. I can't switch over. We'll try to catch TJ here in a second, but it looks like TJ just might have just firmed up a little bit.
TJ's one of those guys. He likes to throw the ball hard.
That looked a little bit better from him.
The harder he can throw it, the better he likes it. He's always got ball speed up around 17, 19, somewhere in there. So
I love it when you see the speed on the monitor, and it tells me I'm throwing at 17 miles an hour.
I know it's lying if it tells me I'm throwing at 17 miles an hour.
Just a little bit of a incorrectness on that. So we are into game 6 of 8. I think at this pace,
Looking pretty good.
11 o'clock might be the end of it. 40, if we did 45 minutes.
Yeah, they've definitely picked up the pace from the first 4 games.
Even if it's an hour, it's still going to be 11:15.
Yeah.
If that. That's
Well,
going. That's
we're going 8 games, not 6.
right. We're in game 6.
So they're pacing for noon.
Oh, noon.
Yeah.
I think you said 2.
No, well,
Noon.
the next squad is 2.
Oh,
They're pacing 12 o'clock right now.
right. Next squad is at 2.
Yes.
So it's going to be done even sooner before noon.
Oh yeah, that's good though because we wanted to have plenty of time to let the lane sit just like they did for the first squad. So that's going to work out really, really good.
Yeah. I don't think I just think for me, I'm kind of like Dan. I kind of like having the names on the back of the shirts.
Oh yeah, it would definitely make a.
But I'll tell you what, I remember these shirts, like what Dave Campbell's wearing and
Yep.
Jesse and some of the other ones. Those shirts for the Masters, I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, this year we got a pullover, and it's pretty cool looking. It's kind of a golf pullover, so
Yeah, it was pretty nice. I saw those.
we just try to give them something a little bit different for qualifying.
See, now there, TJ, on that one, he couldn't quite see it. I'll switch it over. TJ just left a bucket. It's not hard for TJ to overplane when you're playing it in like that. You got to make sure you see that friction.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. And this place is notorious for having a lot of oil from 10 to 10.
Well, and it needs it, being
Yeah.
on the wood lanes.
Yep.
Now, do they have like a guardian shield on this?
I don't know.
I remember Gage Bowl, and I remember the last time I bowled on that crap. They had that thick shield. I thought that was guardian shield, but a thick deal that went over the lane.
Right.
And it.
Oh, okay. This place is natural wood with urethane on it.
Okay, so it doesn't have like a.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, they had that thick stuff, and we had stayed there, and that was the last time I promised I was ever going to be there.
And that was super high friction, if I remember right.
Good God Almighty! No, actually, it wasn't bad because it was a lot of surface.
Right.
It was that thin stuff
Yeah.
they had on there. That
It was like
the,
what, a eighth of an inch thick or something. It wasn't very.
Oh no, that stuff was a good half inch,
okay.
3/4.
Yep.
Walter Cronkite. I'm gonna have to get a recording of that and just.
Just so you can.
All righty.
Pipe
Well, from 92 to a 43 pin lead. Brian Manini at 1241. That's 241 or 251 over. At 208 over is Dakota Kessler as he goes 45-57 back to back. Dustin Adams at 206. At 152 is Ed Wheatley. TJ with his 278s climbed himself into fifth. Brad Lingle. I smell Valskin.
Love it.
Where's it? Get a lighter and light that stuff up. There it is. Get a lighter and harden that stuff up. That's the best way to do it.
Oh yeah.
Brad Lingle at 121. Ray Noth at 112. And Ron Hatkins with his 242 got him to 1107. And yep, that's. Oh, I gotta do my.
So far it looks like.
So it's starting to go down a little bit. We've gone from 37 to 35 to 31. Now we're down to 230. But our high games,
are going up.
we had the
I think there was.
we had the 75 and the 78. Had the 57, 42, and the 43. And 35. So 35 is still about the top six, but there's that huge gap going from 75 to from 78 and 77 with that 1-250. So it's kind of and from our area, it's kind of hard to tell how the lanes are different from pair to pair. Dave Campbell looks like he's moved right and firmed up a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll switch over that here in a second.
He's pulled fairly well today. He's had a pair of 230s and a 220. He's starting to make a little bit of a move now.
Yeah, in fact, I'm watching. Actually, Andy Weiss looks like he's kind of. He made a ball change. He was throwing the original. The Sublime. God, I hated that ball. The Sublime Focus, or that ball I really like. In fact, I still have that, and I thought about taking that to Reno with me. But he went from the Sublime, and I think he was throwing the Hypnotized from Brunswick, and he's actually looks like he's kind of firmed up. TJ's kind of doing the same thing. He's
Yeah, I was noticing TJ started off with 170, and now he's moved himself up into the top 5.
and I'm watching a lot of these guys outside of Kessler and maybe a couple others. A lot of guys have tightened their lineup a little bit.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's gotten too cliffy for them.
And I'd say that's probably the case.
A little bit more speed, a little bit more surface, firm it up, let it roll and hit.
Yep. Yeah, we've got Andy out here on lane 5.
You
He's
can-
got the front 5.
Now watch Dave compared to what he was doing earlier. You can kind of see that he's really firmed up.
Yeah, he's playing a little bit tighter, but
Yeah,
he's throwing
he's-
it harder.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's throwing it harder, but he's bumping it right against that friction.
Yep.
You got Manini over here. Kind of hard to tell from the left side. And that's the only downfall for playing that inside line is being able to get that right speed so that ball doesn't hydroplane through everything.
Yeah, it hydroplaned a little bit there and made it hit a little flat.
Okay, I stand corrected. Going left to right pretty solidly.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Brody and Dakota, they play similar. They play a lot of lane.
Yeah, that 155 didn't help him any.
No.
He was 155 game 5. And the other thing that's kind of interesting, I love this sheet that they have, but it's when you looking at the high and low score of everyone and then seeing what the range is and where they are on the standings.
Yeah.
Now, granted, for Manini having a 208 last game from the 277, that's a 69 pin difference. But then when you go to Dakota, he's going to have a 77 pin difference, sitting at second with his 79 to 02.
Yep.
But sitting in third, you go Dustin Adams goes from 75 to 16,
59.
and 59 pin difference. So it's interesting to see that range in there.
Yeah.
We'll go back over here on the high side. See, there's some pretty good scores over on the last pair.
Yeah, and you got lane 5. I forgot who it was. Got the front 6.
That Vice?
Oh, it's Andy Weiss. Yep, the defending champion. Yep, there he goes, number 7.
No, Vice right now sitting 11th, as he's only 81 over. Add 100 to it, that's not going to hurt his cause any.
Oh no, it's going to make a big move.
And basically, he's in that TJ Tackett realm where TJ had to go 86, 280 to get himself into the show to qualify 5th.
Yep. Y'all are going to get a real treat this afternoon. Mr. Jesse Campbell will be on the mic.
Oh, Jesse's going to be with me the whole time.
He might not.
Jesse doesn't have a choice. He's going to be with me the whole time.
Yeah.
Jesse will be able to tell us the stories of the days when he was bowling with the tree limbs.
Well, and actually, Jesse was the proprietor. Oh, not too long ago here, probably about 5 years ago. He was the guy running the show here. And
I'm trying to remember the last time I was here. When was the fire?
I don't know. Hey, Jesse, what year was the fire here? 19?
19. Okay. I'm trying to remember what it was I was bowling when I bowled here.
Yep.
I always remember the shape. I can't remember what the tournament was that I bowled here. Oh, it was?
Yeah. They get a whole different vibe whenever they fix it up from that fire.
See, right now he's just piping it. Now me, I'm looking at, and this is just my visual of what I like to see, is get like a board or two right and see that friction and get it to set stronger so it's pushing through, because I'd be afraid that I'm going to have too much push
Right.
down lane, not get it to feed. But that's just me.
Heaney on lane 5.
He's not covering a whole lot of boards. He's doing what he likes to do.
Yep, exactly. Playing his game.
And we'll get back over here for a second. We'll get back to Andy with his, what was it, front 7?
No,
8?
he missed in the 8th.
Oh, he did? I
don't-
missed it?
I'm not-
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he left, but he's still at 279 pace.
Yeah, I think Dave. Wow.
Davey caved one. I think there's more on the deck than there was in the pit.
Dave asked the wife if he could get out early, and she said okay. And it worked out okay.
That's right.
There was no hold in that shot. That thing was going. And Andy Weiss gets back on with the strike. So we got another 270 over here by Ron Hatkins after his 240. So that's going to help his cause out a little bit. And TJ firmed that one, pointed just a little bit too much. And of course, I mentioned Hankins shooting 270. He has to disappoint me. I'm trying to show him some love over here and help him get up there, and he's just not working with me.
He's like that.
So I fly in April 27th. Are you flying in, or how long are you going to be there in Reno?
The 20, whatever Monday.
27th.
Yeah, so I'll be there Monday, bowl Tuesday, Wednesday. On Thursday, we're actually going over to Vegas because the wife is bowling in the women's championship.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So we make a long week out of it, so we don't have to have extra flights.
Let her do what she's going to do, and
That's right.
I'll meet you over there.
Well, yeah. Well, she bowls the men's nationals too, so
Oh, does she? Okay.
yeah. They got a team of women that bowl with us.
So Vice with 2 more will go 279. I think I'm gonna try to go hit the casino tonight a little bit.
Oh boy.
They have that craps table, that half length craps table.
Yeah.
I did pretty good last time I was there.
Well, that ain't bad.
And I've looked up the strategy of dice throwing. There actually is a strategy to. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you here in a second.
Well, if it works, you just let me know.
Well,
You got any advice here? You strike on the last ball. He'll shoot 279.
yeah.
Couple nice
So
games
kind of slowing down just a little bit. Not going to have got that one pulled. Yep, 79. That'll work.
Pulled it just right.
So that's going to put him up to 1,300. Now long story short, I go to Hollywood, and there was this guy who started throwing, and the dice would be on the table, and you'd just kind of shake him back and forth a little bit in his hand, and then he would just pick them up and toss them. Full table length toss.
Right.
Now, do you know the all small, all tall?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, it was a crapless table, and it's kind of hard to explain. But we'll just say this guy went on a massive roll.
Good.
Now the thing is, all tall is hitting 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Okay.
Okay.
That makes sense.
And the all small is hitting 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, he had hit the all, and you have to hit those before you hit 7 and crap out. I'm standing there. He'd already hit the all small once. He got a majority of the all small, and I'm looking at the table. All he needs is a 12 for the all tall, and it pays 35 to 1.
Right.
Or no, paid 6 to 1 just on the 12. You can only bet the all tall or all small at the beginning.
Okay.
Can't jump in. Well, all he needed was a 12 for the all tall. And I'm sitting there joking with the guy on the table, and I said, hell, I ought to put $100 down. He said everything else. And the guy goes, yeah, you need to. But I didn't want to disrupt the table. I mean,
Right.
some come in the middle of a hot roll like that. But simple, $100, bang, put it on there. 5 throws later, the guy hits a 12.
Awesome.
Yeah, I didn't put the $100 down
Well,
because I was being nice. I didn't want to.
yeah, don't want to mess up the flow.
Yeah, the guy was on a serious roll. I didn't want to be that guy and get that eye and be worried about leaving the casino later.
That's right. I understand that.
So 79, 24 back for Manini. Got a 260 for
Justin Adams
for
can strike
Kessler.
for 44.
No, he's going to be 250. So Kessler at 250. So he's gonna shorten up the lead on Manini a little bit by about 20 pins.
Well, and Dustin gained a little ground on him too. He shot 244. Looks like Dustin Bauman can punch out for
Yeah, these guys are gonna be done by 11
250.
as we go into. No, this is game 6. We got 2 more. What was I thinking?
You're still thinking about we only bowled 6.
No, I had 6 in my head, like 6 was already completed. Duh, dummy. But yeah, it'll be 11:30.
Oh yeah.
That'll be good timing. Yeah. Couldn't get the kick. Had a good run. Atkins leaves a 7, so he's going to go 220.
It's awful quiet in here now. Oh, there we go. There's some noise.
That lull with the lane change. And I just realized every other lane is a tick behind from the other. So the ones that are done can't bowl because the ones that are done, and the ones that aren't done can't go to the next lane.
Yep.
And you got that 4 pair, and that's why it's that big weight deal. Scores are definitely lower.
Yeah, this time they are.
Yeah, they definitely, there's a 240,
There's a 254.
240, 270, 250, and I think that might be, I don't even see any 230s. I may be going into the 220s after that, so.
A little bit of change in the scoring pace.
Yeah,
Moved down just a bit.
2 teens for Dave Campbell. So remember, we're going to be back here at 2 o'clock with the B squad qualifying at 8 games. And then 8 o'clock tomorrow? 9 o'clock tomorrow. You mean I get to sleep in?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
We do what we can.
Well, I know. And so 9 o'clock for the 8-game round-robin match play. And then we'll cut the top 5. And we'll just have the match play round-robin and the stepladder on the same broadcast, and we'll just have to move one camera over so we can get the scores on it.
Well, everybody's getting
And all of
down.
a sudden, bang, we're bowling.
That's right. Back to the money game.
Everyone got tired of standing around.
You know, I'll tell you what, that new Ion Max or whatever it is, that ball looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's the Pearl.
Yep. The newest one there, yeah.
Yeah, that thing's been looking pretty good. In fact, they have the two. Storm has the 2 new balls out. One is the
Monsoon's one.
the Monsoon, and that's the ball that Francois Lavoie was throwing all 12 games when he broke those 2 records.
Yep, and it's supposed to be the solid version of the Typhoon.
Right, which makes sense.
Yeah.
And then they have a new one that's a Belmonte ball that they couldn't even talk. Brad, I was watching Brad and Kyle's podcast during Kyle's qualifying, and the last cut, and he said he was throwing whatever or showed it, but they couldn't talk about it.
Right.
I'm like, come on.
Yeah, it's top secret.
I will say this. For anyone that liked the Inception Pearl that 900 Global had out, I can't remember how many years ago, I ended up finding one that a friend of mine had in Omaha. It was J.J. Massney at Trip 4 Pro Shop. And he had totally redone it, resurfaced it, everything. And that Inception Pearl is so close to the Viking.
Right.
And it's a big core with a shiny surface. Yeah, I was so happy of that. But of course, I get it after I got the Inception Pearl and then find out that they're that close together.
Yeah, right
But
on
I'm-
top of each other.
But I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I can keep a fresh cover on the Viking, throw the Inception Pearl for league and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think it's time for Dave to make a move.
Yeah, I think
That thing jumped pretty hard.
it sure does look like they're
Well,
really starting to hook now.
and at the same time, he's following TJ and Manini,
Yep.
who's on that same line. So, also want to remind everyone you can go into the chat room or the chat portion of it and just Hey, we've already proven if you want to leave a message for one of the bowlers or something, we will go down and hand deliver said message. I am not afraid to do that. And I need to change this because we are in game 7. Oh, now when I had the 6, I was thinking of that's how many games are completed.
Oh, okay.
That's what was in my head.
Oh, scores are coming in.
And it has tightened up immensely. And Brian Manini still leads, but only by 13 pins now over Dakota Kessler. Last 3 games for Manini, 43-08-24, and Kessler pretty solid, 45-57-54. So a 92-pin lead has gone down to 15 or 13, with Dustin Adams at 1450, and 90-some pins back is Ed Whitley, and he is 161 over. At 160 over is Andy Weiss. So that 279 helped out a bunch. TJ with his 215 is down to 6th at 143 or 149. At 131 is Ron Hatkins, and at 8th is Ray Noth at 1322. And our top 4, we're just using 4 as a cut number. We've gone from 37 to 26. And when you take a look at the scores, we had a 54, 79. Wow. 44, 35. We're down to the 220s. We got a 27, which was Jesse Campbell's in 17th. And then a 25. Got 25 here by Dustin Bowman. Got 2 24s, but 25 by Dustin Bowman. So, yeah, we're...
Scoring pace is dropping a little bit.
The other thing, when you look at the sheet where the circles all that I've done, when you look at game 3 and 4, majority of them were in the top 7. And then you have the top 8 for the top 6 scores. And then when you look at game 5 and 6, they're pretty spread out.
Yeah, kind of scattered around a lot.
So, but the problem is you have that big gap right now between 3rd and 4th from Dustin Adams, who is 250 over, and Ed Whitley, who is 161 over. So you're looking 89 pins.
Yeah. Big difference.
Now, what's that 89 pin gap? How many are going to be able to fill that 89 pin gap in from the B squad? That's where it starts getting interesting when you start thinking about that and you start adding that number in.
Starting to string a few more strikes this game again.
Yeah, I think what I'm seeing is they're not cliffy to begin, but they're not cliffy to begin, but once that track area on the wood lanes comes in, it's just dominant. So now what you've done is if you get too far left to right, now you've created an out of bounds from that track area.
Right.
So now you can go left to right. It's almost imperative now you're left to right, but your spot has to be off the lane.
Right.
You can't be right early. So that's why you see guys like Manini, TJ, Vice, and some of the other ones that are playing more firm. They're playing up against that shim or that track area.
Yep.
And what happens is when you're doing that, you still have so much volume from the beginning. So now you're trying to make sure you get in the right direction, because if you pull it in, there's no way that ball is going to make it back up. You've had enough time where guys that are throwing plastic for the spare balls going to the right, or which, predominantly on the right side, that now they've taken that oil and stretched it even further.
Right.
So now it's even more imperative, if you're going to face it up, you have to keep it faced up and get that ball setting to the pins off the break point, and you're not wanting anything really continuous.
Right.
And Kessler right now is doing a big slow roll. We'll watch him on his next shot on the left side. But he's definitely taken speed off the ball, and he's gotten even further left. And we'll get a pretty good shot of that game 8 when he comes up to the 3 and 4. And it's amazing how, and if anyone really wants to see the difference, bowl a game, like game or two or whatever, when your ball goes through transition, and try to remember what you see. Then when you watch someone bowl on a lane for like 2 or 3 games, and just sit there like you're sitting down in the chair because you're going to get a lower level, and realize how much more you're going to see that ball move and where it moves and how much it moves when you're sitting down at a lower level. Then you start to see the difference of why these guys on the tour have the ball reps, because even though they're standing back, they're still going to see more of the reaction that you're not going to really see that much closer,
right,
from a higher point.
Yeah, it's definitely easier to see from behind than it is to see when you're letting go of the ball.
Yeah, so like you could watch Daniel here, even though the camera's like directly behind him, and he's throwing a transformer, it looks like, but he's throwing something with surface. We'll go like over here with Dave. He won't be able to see too much the way the camera is. But we'll go over here with Daniel, depending on how far left he is. He's going left to right, but he's playing it in a little bit. But at the same time, the ball refs being able to see that level or see that first 20 feet, because when you're bowling, you don't see that 20-foot reaction that much.
Right.
Now, if you watch Kessler here on lane 2, you can tell how much he's slow rolling it now. He just moves in deeper. He's just using speed to control it, because there's so much of that puddle on the inside that he can get left and he can float it, and that ball, I'm not sure. I have to see.
Has the time to get through the carry down.
Yeah. And I'm trying to see what ball he's throwing. Can't see what ball It's got some shine to it. I can't tell what ball it is. It's got to be a lower RG, higher diff or something. I can't tell. But you can tell now that shim, now it's just, for Kessler, it's just throwing a ball to a spot down lane.
Yeah. Was he throwing that black one?
Yeah.
That might be a Vibo. It's either a Vibo or a physics blackout, I think.
Possible, yeah. Looks like it has the hard telling.
Oh no, is that a Brunswick crown on that?
It's gold. It has a gold. Is that a gold label? It has a gold pin.
Maybe.
That was a ball I probably should have not got rid of. Ooh, that 4-count won't help you any. I do believe I would have to say for Colton, it's probably a good time to get out of that concept.
Oh yeah, for Dustin. Yeah.
Yeah, Dustin. I mean, yeah, I'd say it's probably a good time to get out of it. It's not. Yeah, that's the one thing about that concept, man. When it sees friction, it lets you know.
I got mine all shined up.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not throwing all my other stuff too much right now.
Got 245 down there on lane 8. Looks like Manini can get up there and punch out for 48.
Yeah, I can't see the.
Somebody else has got it.
I think Manini is 230. $79. No, it'd be 240. And then Vice can go 240 even.
Yep.
Manini, what was that? 248.
240 on that pair.
And with that 240, Kessler going. Which one's Kessler?
I'm not sure. Somebody's got 279 working. Colton Hankins. Shouldn't have mentioned it.
Attaboy. Just had to put it out there.
Yeah, the announcer jinx.
So Vice with a strike. He's going to be in the 240 if he strikes.
Manini's going to be 238 with the spare.
Yeah. And Kessler's up. And he's got the 7-count with a split. So on the sheet, he can go 230. So he's gonna have to sheet to stay pace with.
Yeah, he's going to have to do a little work.
Yep.
Well, then you got Ed Whitley on the same pair. He can punch out for 279. So that's going to be a.
That would help him out of that 90.
Yeah, that'd be a huge.
What's,
Oh, well, I
what's
ruined that one too.
What's Dustin Adams doing?
Back-to-back opens. He can shoot 220, 229.
That's not going to help him.
No.
This is the door he had to be able to shut it, and he didn't do that. He didn't even walk through it. Yeah, I would be very surprised if he throws that concept again.
Well, and it's got surface on it too, and that's probably not real great right now.
Well, I think for his role it isn't.
Right.
Just
yeah.
for the fact he doesn't have the. It's either he has too much of the rotation or the speed. See, he's gonna throw it again. If I'm a ball red, I'm saying you need to get to something else. Something else with a little bit you can still have the high diff but a lower RG.
Yeah, but just like we was talking about earlier, we can see what he can.
Yeah. And he's probably going to come back and say, that's what I was trying to do the last 2 frames that I didn't do.
Exactly.
So, there's that. How well did you throw it? Did you throw it where you needed to or no?
Yep.
And if he comes back, not even close, trust me. Okay, you got the feel, so.
Ed Whitley with a strike on lane 2. He can shoot 249. Not sure who's up.
I hate this shade of gray and these light numbers. I wish Brunswick would do something better with these colors.
Right. Well, we got Brody Johansson.
I've even seen him put yellow numbers on a white background. What are you doing, people?
Yeah, he can't even see that.
Have you ever heard of the word contrast?
Right.
Come on.
Yep, Brody can strike for 256. Got a little work to do still, but
Yeah.
pacing a good game.
Thank you. Thank you for the 8-pin. Appreciate that.
Ronnie Hankins over on lane 1 with his Mr. Hankins carry.
Yeah, he had a chance to make a finish off pretty strong last game and couldn't do it.
Ray North striking on lane 2. He's trying to get another strike, have a little 2-0 game.
Okay, so when you go to South Point, when Lisa does the women's, when you go to South Point, do you go to the buffet?
We do not.
Atta boy.
We usually stay at the Knee downtown.
Oh, you do? You don't stay at the South Point?
Nope.
Okay.
I like the action downtown. I like to watch the bands and things down there.
There's plenty of places, food trucks and places I want to try. Some good. I don't know what it is, but lately I have been absolutely killing for a good Philly cheesesteak.
Well, don't sound too bad right now.
No, it doesn't. Does St. Joe have a good Philly steak someplace? Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
They might have one here.
If they do, you don't. No?
Oh, what they got over there?
There is a burger place in Atchison I heard about. I want to go try. I can't remember the name of it, but it's just.
Ooh.
Let me see if I can.
Colton Kessler, he can spare strike for 212.
It's not coming up. Nothing's kicking my memory. Muller's locker room?
Maybe.
That's a 4.1. There's a Trotters on the river. Nah, this looked like a kind of a barish kind of thing. Willie's, Five Guys. No, nothing's. G's? Well, I don't know. I remember seeing something about at Atchison, it was like a burger place I wanted to try. All right, so some 30s, some 20s.
Couple 40s.
Yeah. Finishing up, so scores have kind of fluctuated, but they've kind of to make the top 4 has really come down a lot.
Well, you got Ronnie Hankins there. He can punch out for 230. I thought it was going to be a little bit more than that. Ed Whitley with a 229.
Yeah, 90 pin gap between third and fourth,
It's looking huge now.
and Kessler didn't help himself any. He had a chance to really do some damage. He finishes with 212. We're going to stop the broadcast for a little while after the end of game 8, which we're getting into in a second. And then we'll be back about 1:55. Starting practice at 1:50 or starting practice at 2?
150,
Okay.
if we can.
Yeah. Well,
we should be able to.
I don't see any reason why you couldn't.
Unless somebody just didn't hear yet.
Yeah. So we'll be back about 1:55 at the practice, and I'll get a picture of the sheet and put it on the screen so you can see the top 8. That was another thing I wish I could do. I wish I could
Scan
just
it right
pop
onto the screen.
in a picture of the standings, and I haven't figured out a quick way of doing it.
Old Ronnie Hankins there had a 235. That's not going to hurt his cause any.
No, that'll
I'll move him up maybe a little bit.
spot or two. What did Andy? Didn't see what Andy shot, but
I don't know. What'd you shoot? I think Andy shot 240, right on the nose.
okay. Well, that may get one spot in. I'll tell you what. I keep thinking. I keep looking. We were talking about equipment to take, and I keep forgetting I've got a IQ Tour AI.
Yep.
That when I throw it, it rolls well, but I just haven't brought out to throw it that much.
It starts early.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there thinking that probably would. I'm trying to decide, would that be better, or an Origin be better with a little bit of surface?
I don't know a lot about
At
the
Reno.
Origin. I know I like my AI, my Phase AI. Talk about the green one or the?
I'm talking about the green and black one.
Yeah.
The IQ AI.
Yeah. I
Not
got the
the-
Phase
not AI.
too. Yep. That green one's pretty long.
You know what? The little I've thrown it, I really haven't seen it do a whole lot.
No, it gets down the lane easy.
Did I tell you I figured out my sliding problem at Revolutions?
Huh?
Yep. Oh, basically, wood surfaces, like this one here,
Right.
they just tend to slide more. And I tried a different heel, and everything I got was I either stuck or I slid forever. And come to find out that I forgot about an old trick that I did. And I call them the alligator heels, but the ones that have the jagged edges
Yeah.
on them. And what I used to do was take some bowler's tape, the white bowler's tape, and just put it on that front edge of the heel, where that I call it the front tooth, because I would get on that and I would stop too much. So I just put a little tape on there, and it would help if I needed to slide just a little bit more.
Right.
I just put just a little bit more tape on that heel.
Well,
Last time we bowled on that makeup from Mission, when we bowled at Revolutions, I had zero problem.
that's good.
I was like, hey, I can bowl again. So we're waiting for the totals after Game 7, as now we are in Game 8 of 8 of qualifying for the first squad. B squad coming up at 2 o'clock, and then we'll cut the top 8, and 9 o'clock tomorrow morning we'll be on the air about 8:50ish, 8:55, and we will have all 8 games of the round robin match play. And then after the 8 games, we'll cut top 5 for the stepladder finals. And I just looked over at TJ, still just jamming it right in the hole.
Oh yeah, he's throwing smoke down there.
Yeah.
Looks like Luckily, 1 and 2 must be playing slightly slicker than 7 and 8.
Yeah, Vice just goes 5-pin. Looks like the ball didn't even try to wrinkle.
Yep.
See what Manini does here. Yeah, just not quite the.
Not enough pop.
I don't know
on
if
the
it looked
back.
like it was setting up, but it didn't quite finish.
Nope. He got the powerful Ronnie Hankins here in front of us on lane 3 and 4.
The power bowler.
That's right. He's throwing the vibe.
He's throwing the bomb.
He got them long fingers. He really cranks on it.
You know, everyone talks about that bubblegum vibe, how good it is, and I haven't tried it yet either.
I had one and I didn't like it. It had a lot of over/under to it. For me.
What do you think about the end of Columbia 300?
Well,
They had to do something because when you have 7 freaking companies,
right.
come on, really?
That's too many.
When they came out with the Pulse, and I have one and I love it, when they did that, they should have reissued like the Tie Boss, the Rage, the Beast.
Right. Oh yeah.
Can you imagine if they would have redone the Beast?
Oh yeah. Well, who was that? I think it was either Brian Goebel or Dave Husted. They used to bowl the squad right near us out at Nationals, and he'd come in there with whichever one of those 2 balls it was, and he'd just kill them every year. And that ball was 10 years old or better.
That Rage was good.
Uh-huh.
That Black Rage. I'll even tell you a story about the Black Rage. Rick Stillsmith on Columbia staff, and they're bowling in Wichita. He had 2 Rages drilled. One was pin up, one was pin down. And he's throwing that thing right up 2, 3, 4. And all he threw was either pin up or pin down, depending on how the outside was reacting.
Right.
Average like 240 for the 8-game block or something. It was, and I'm sitting there following, and I mean he was not missing a beat.
And it's just amazing how many new bowling balls are out there. They just keep coming. Seems like every month there's about 4 or 5 every time.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
There's the scores.
So going into game 8 after 7, Brian Manini stretches his lead back out to 39 pins as he is 313 over. Dakota Kessler, he is at 274. 259 for Dustin Adams in third. In fourth at 1600 is Andy Weiss, so that 90 pin is shortened down to 59 from third to fourth. TJ's at 194. Ed Whitley is at 190. Ron Hatkins is at 166. And 153 for the top 8 is Dustin Bowman. So come on. Oh, you need the other one back? Oh.
169 for Rick.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. So the top 4 average has gone up, back up to 228. And what's kind of interesting, whoa, this is kind of, so Colton Hatkins was high with 243, sitting in 13th. The next high was Andy Weiss at 240. Or check that, 245. TJ had 245. Colton had 243. 240 for Andy Weiss.
238.
And then we're going 38 for Manini. 35 for Ron Hatkins. And 34. So 234 for Dustin Bowman. So It's still kind of top heavy, top 8, 5 of the top 6, but the scores themselves, because to make the top 4 goes from 26 back up to 28, and we didn't have those huge scores, but we did have 3 240s and 3 230s. So,
well, this is the last chance to make a big charge, right?
yeah, they're going to have to make a push. And TJ with the light carry. We'll see what Dustin Adams does here real quick. He's sitting in third at 2:59 over. Still throwing the concept. Makes me look like an idiot. Nice job. Appreciate that.
Not everybody can be an expert.
No, and I never claim to be one. I just give my opinion, whether it's right or wrong.
Right. Well, you got Manini over here working. Well, never mind. I talked him out of that one too.
Yeah, and you could tell how much slower he is with the speed.
Yep. But
And
there comes Andy though. Andy's pacing 279 through 5.
yeah,
6. So he's trying to make a big move. The defending champion.
and Colton. Colton's on the Dutch train right now.
So is Dustin Adams.
And I just wonder how much mistake room Dustin Adams has with that concept.
I don't know. I watched him throw that last one, and I was scared it was going to hook early. It started to look like it was going to go, and then it just kind of set up and went.
Did you bowl Tulsa last year?
No, I don't. I actually don't even bowl it.
It was weird because it was like 40-some feet, but I mean, it was a cliff.
Huh.
And I can't remember what they said the ratio was, but I've never bowled on a condition where you get it through the oil and you push it, you get it right to the cliff, and it will hook. If you got it too early, it would bump it back in and it would stop because it's still in the oil turning.
Right.
It was craziest thing I've seen.
They call it the oil capital down there for a reason, I guess.
Wow. You talk about the Exxon Valdez. So it looks like lane 2 may have just a little bit more push to it. Manini struck on the left, and the ball reaction from this angle didn't look too terribly bad.
You got Rick Gabauer working at 278 on lane 1.
I will make a request that the top 8 do have names on the back of their shirts tomorrow. It'd be nice.
All right.
My personal request.
Sounds good to me.
And until I get to know everybody, because I don't.
Well, and every year it changes somewhat.
Yeah, it does. I don't think Daniel liked that one.
I don't think so either.
That was a big left to right.
Nice spare, Ed Whitley. Picked up the 9-10. I'm not sure how he left it, but it was a good spare.
I was going to say, which is more impressive, leaving it or picking it up?
Yeah. I'll go with yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what's got Ronnie Hankins? He had to trip something there, didn't he? Oh, he didn't trip before. He's already out.
See what Dustin Adams does again. I'm somewhat surprised. As long as he hits a spot down lane, it's going to stop and set. But man, it just seems like that spot is.
It's getting narrower, I think.
He's hitting it. Props to him.
He's locked in on lane 5. Can't get it to fall on lane 6.
See if Manini can get this one to. It won't fit. I wonder if he just pulled that one bad. I got to think he did because there's friction to the right.
Yeah, he's probably leaning on it a little
And
bit.
it looks like lane one is just a little bit better because TJ just threw his there and it just went dead flush.
Yep.
And you can see the move on it. But Manini,
He can still shoot 230.
but Manini still has the 39 pin lead, so but Kessler, Kessler's got a chance. He can. Let's see, off the sheet for Manini, he can go 238. We'll see what Kessler does here. And he's still going pretty much left to right. Yeah, that one he got pulled just a bit short. So on the spare, he can go 257.
He can have 38.
Wouldn't take the lead, but
Puts him in a good position for.
I think that might be the physics blackout. I still have service on mine. When I started seeing videos from Reno, I'm like, I loved it. I'm just going to leave the service what I have on my physics blackout, and I still can't tell what that is.
I think it probably is a physics blackout.
Yeah, it came back out of their turn a little bit too fast.
Rain off. He's still playing out. That one held. Rick Gebauer on lane one. He spared, puts him in the 240s. We got one pair that's just about done, and
Yeah.
one pair that's halfway there.
Well, that's what happens when they're throwing strikes.
That's right.
Oh, that about got ugly for TJ.
Yeah, it did.
He left the bucket, and then the first one to go down after that was the 2-pin. Waiting to see what Dustin does, Dustin Adams does here.
Looks like David Campbell's still pacing 260 down on the lane 7 and 8.
So Manini, he can still go 36.
Andy Weiss can go 35 still.
Yep. Did he finally double?
No. That's his good lane.
He's still on the Dutch train.
Yep.
And that's going to be frustrating. I mean, you're only 15 back in second place.
Yep.
And you're trying to get up there, but you can't get one lane to go.
That is for sure.
Yeah, TJ got that one right, and he definitely saw the friction. So that's going to give him 202.
Ronnie Hankins is still working 279. Where's he at? He's down 7th.
I have to call out these finals.
Not a lot out of the top 4.
Yeah, I have to call out these finals a little bit and kind of give a little bit of an early idea. Who shot 245?
That was Rick Gebauer.
Was that Rick?
Yeah.
Riggy.
And Andy Weiss is going to shoot 230.
Hey, finally got one.
He finally got it to finish on that right lane.
Dustin Colton.
Andy Weiss with 231.
Oh, wrap 10. Or Dustin Adams. That didn't help any. Of course, a wrap 10 on the bad lane.
Oh, yeah. You got Ed Whitley there on lane 4. Got a shot at shooting
And a wrap
240.
10. So, 220.
227 if a spare.
Well, Kessler can overtake the lead. Not now. Oh, it stopped.
Yeah, hook
It stopped. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, it looked like it was going straight through the nose.
Oh,
226 for Manini.
so that's going to give him 1939.
Andy Weiss had 231.
Was that 231?
Yep. Ronnie Hankins is still trying to shoot 279. He's still got that working.
See what Dustin finishes up with.
Well, right now he can only punch out for 210.
What did Ed shoot? He's coming up.
He can shoot 240.
Yeah, that'll get him past TJ if he does. Dustin Adams will still be in third, but it'll shorten up that gap between third and second. So 250, 57. 57 would get him 1920, 1921. 1931, excuse me. So he'd be 8 pins short if he goes sheet. Oh, that he's throwing it there. I mean he's getting it there, but I think it's just like on that pair it's giving him a false read.
Right.
I gotta say false read. It's just not. It's not consistent enough to be able to get the ball to go through the pins.
Ed Whitley with another strike.
So Dustin Adams on the spare strike could go 99.
Dakota Kessler with a strike.
He's going to shorten that gap up, that's for sure.
Yeah, he can shoot 57.
Kessler's last 4 games, 57, 54, had that hiccup with the 212, and then he's going to go 250 again possibly. So, and 98.
Yep.
So I put him 1857. So it shortens that gap between third and fourth by 26 pins. And waiting on Whitley to get done also. Dustin Ballman didn't see what they're still down there bowling. Those are the major players.
Ronnie Hankins with the spare can still shoot 258.
.58 would help us cause a bunch.
Yeah, huh?
See, you already got me wanting a pork tenderloin now.
Well,
I haven't had one for a while.
they got a good one.
Plenty of lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise.
That's all I need.
Did you know that you're supposed to be able to put a slice of cheddar cheese on apple pie and it's supposed to be good?
No.
Dead serious.
It doesn't sound good.
But I'll tell you a burger to try. make a burger, put bacon, egg, and peanut butter. No. Trust me.
I believe it.
The peanut butter is just a smooth flavor. It's not that hard peanut butter taste.
Right.
There's a place, Burger and Barrel. They have a PB&E. The first time I tried it, oh, it's good.
It's definitely. It sounds different for sure.
You'll be amazed on how well it works.
There you go. You got Dakota Kessler.
Yep.
He struck a first ball in the 10th, so he's looking 240 no matter what.
Forgot to switch that over. And we'll see what Dustin Ballman does down there too. And of course we'll wait till they get the final sheet, and we'll.
Colton Hankins at 267. That's a decent game.
I think what I may try to do, I can do a scroll. I may try that ball stop for the 4-9.
Yep. That puts him in the 240s though.
Yeah. That's going to put him, what if he goes 8 out, 3, 243. That'd put him at 17. So that put him 22 behind. 9.
23.
Yeah. 23. So they'll put him at 19, 17.
Quite a few scores coming off this
Yeah.
pair right now. Got Ed Whitley. He can still strike out for 248. You got Ronnie Hankins. He can still strike out for 258. So you could have 4 240-plus games on this pair, 3 and 4.
So see what Whitley finishes up with. That never made it up. That never thought about moving.
Nope. That still put him in the 230s, respectable.
So Dustin Ballman. And he's only going to go 180, so that's going to hurt him.
Yep. Then Ronnie Hankins with the spare will be in the 240s.
Knows about the only two we're going to worry about, the top 8.
Yep.
I didn't see Lengel is over here. I don't think he shot too much. So the spare 237.
Yep. 237 for Mr. Whitley. And
Up in 17. I put him 18, 17. So that'll put him around TJ. And then look for, see what Ron does. I'll put him in the 240s. Tell you what, Ron's thrown a pretty good 8-game block.
yes, he has.
And he's throwing the line. Not many people are throwing.
247.
So
For
247.
him.
I put him 18, 13. So that'll put him, TJ ended actually drop down to 8th.
We got one shot left.
Bowman shot 179. We'll get the last shot over here by Dave Campbell. 1732.
132.
That'll do it.
215 for Davey Campbell. And A squad is officially in the books.
That's going to do it. So unofficially, and we're going to go ahead and cut the broadcast because it'll take them a little bit to get all that done, but unofficially, Brian Manini leading at 339 over. Dakota Kessler at 317. In third is Dustin Adams at 257. 251 in fourth is Andy Weiss. Do what now?
It's still right.
Yeah.
196.
And then 217 tie with Ed Whitley, Ron Hatkins, and then TJ at 196. So we'll have a running score in the top of the top 8, and we'll have those scrolling with the we call them dead numbers so that they've already bowled. And then I'll try another one that'll have like the top 4, top 5. I'll try to do. I'm only allowed 100 characters per deal,
Right.
so we'll try to see what we can get. But we'll get that lined up. And once again, huge thanks to all the sponsors. Lisa with Shelter Insurance, Joey over here with Findlay Transport, Victory, Chevrolet, and Ryan Farms.
And then you got Northwest Missouri Senior Bowlers Tour.
Thanks to Dan for letting us use the YouTube page. And we'll be back at about 1:55 with the B squad for 8 games of qualifying, and then at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, the 8-man stepladder final. So for Joey, I'm Ryan Ragland. Thanks for joining us here at Savage Lanes in Savannah, Missouri. We're going to take a time out. I'm going to go get me a pork tenderloin. I'm hungry. And we'll be back at 1:55 right here on the Northwest Missouri Senior Bowlers Tour YouTube page with the 2026 St. Joe, Missouri USBC Masters.